Hello everyone, welcome to another stream of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Today, things are strange. Apollo Justice is actually fighting off against Phoenix Wright. And, how is this gonna end? I have no idea. Oh, I can hear myself. Oh, I sound so lovely. Let's lower that volume. Okay, good. Anyway, let's start. Who's ready? Are you guys ready? I know I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Start to. I got my trusty guide up. And let's see what's gonna go on. May 17th. I don't know what day it is today. Hello, it's Hopia. What's up? Double stream day. Every day is double stream day. How are you today? Just so you know, I'm not going to take sides. Message received, loud and clear. Good, because I don't like this one bit. You and Daddy should be on the same team. Sorry, Chusi. Wow, she's really mad. Hey, Mafia Babe. What's up? Mafia Babe, I'm ashamed in you right now. I had to wait 1 hour and 30 minutes for you to get here. 1 minute and 30 seconds for you to get here. If you're this late again, I'm gonna ban you. No, I'm joking. How are you doing today? It's good to see ya. Oh my gosh, Ultima, so salty. You're just starting. What is wrong with you? Doing alright, not much to report. I'm doing good. Today's gonna be really fun. All is gonna be good here. You ready? I'm sorry too, little lady. This is all my fault. I'm just worried things will never be the same between Daddy and Apollo. If they go through with this... impatient kids first. Ayo! You just woke up from a nap. Good morning then, Mafia Babe. Good morning, Knight? How are you today, Impatient? Is that all? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. That's the way it is with us men. We may fight, but we don't burn bridges. Really? Sure. 1 minute we're trading blows, and the next we're having drinks together. We're simple creatures at heart. Ha 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 ha. Oh yeah, Dirk's here. I think you saw him already, Mafia Babe. Hola, what's up? I sure hope you're right. Sorry I'm late, Apollo. Hey, it's, Athena. Who's that? It's Ra, what's up? Impatient kid spotted in the wild. Good to see you all. Athena, there you are. What happened with you and Mr. Wright yesterday? About that. I ended up going to the wrong airport. I was waiting there thinking his flight was really late, and before I knew it, I dozed off. By the time I woke up, it was already dark. I figured something like that had happened. Hey, Captain Chips. What's up? It's Apollo time. Is Mafia, human? Yes, she is real. Everyone here is real except Nightbot. Being late and dozing off are two things you do best. Guilty as charged. So then, I take it you have no idea what today's case is about? Not a clue. Sorry. What is today's case about, if I might ask? Another locked room mystery? A suspect with a flimsy alibi? Oh, or a dying message? Sorry. Strike 3. You're out. It's a civil case. A civil case? You act like I'm speaking Swahili here. It's just the Wright Anything Agency specializes in criminal law, or so I thought. In civil cases, there are no prosecutors, right? Instead, both parties retain an attorney. Right. And the other attorney is someone you know very well. Really? Who? The trial will begin shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay, let's do this. Apollo, wait. Who's the other attorney? And where's Mr. Wright? No time to explain. Let's go. Okay. Right behind you. Hey, Sneakers. Good to see you, too. Welcome to the craziest case. Well, not the craziest case, but one of the craziest case ever. You just ate, penny? Is that how you say that? Sounds delicious. Alright. Let's keep the chatter, like, only about the game, if that's alright. We want to get through this game goodly, guys. Court is now in session. Oh, is this some sort of practice session? A mock trial, perhaps? No, it's not, Your Honor. It's the real deal, Your Honor. So then you two have had a falling out? I won't have you using my courtroom for that, you know. It's nothing like that, Your Honor. Exactly. It just so happens that we have different clients in this case. I see. Well, here's to hoping this has no adverse effect on your working relationship. Guilty. Think it's guilty. You can say that again. I had no idea we'd be going up against the boss today. You sure this is a good idea, Apollo? What? Do you want to switch sides? Honestly, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Well, at least she is here. I'm really going to need her help. Mr. Justice. Yes? Don't expect me to pull any punches just because you're the opposing lawyer. As I said, the kid gloves are off. And come what may, they'll stay off. It's so weird to see Phoenix Wright on the opposing side, isn't it, guys? An Inferio Tigre's outfit. Like, what's happening? Same here, Mr. Wright. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. Yeesh, you guys are really chomping at the bit, aren't you? I don't mind a good fight between co-workers. Just keep the civil case civil. Now then, if the plaintiff would take the stand, we may begin. Phoenix's outfit is funny. Right, left, halt. Is he allowed to write that thing in here? Noble judge, members of the gallery, good day to you. I am Paul Attition. This is but the start of my epic campaign, and you all have the honor of witnessing it. I believe the youth of this country are our very future. Too long have they been looking down on giving the cold shoulder. So to them I say, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do for me. Mr. Attition, what is that crazy contraption you're riding in? What the heck? Yep, that's this guy. It's my custom-made election-winning campaign mobile. Beautiful, isn't it? You're at a witness stand, not a campaign podium, so come out of there this instant. Fair. All right, now with the plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Wright, please explain the complaint filed against the defendant. Mr. Attition's complaint against the defendant is simple. The defendant, one Dirk Sadmandi, stole my client's family heirloom, the Crystal of Ami Faye. Mr. Attition merely seeks its return. This wouldn't have happened if that archaeologist hadn't kicked the bucket. I see. Well, Mr. Justice, let's have your opening statement if you would. The defense asserts the item in question is the Founder's Orb, a sacred relic from Karatin. Go on. It seems someone asked an archaeologist, Dr. Archie Buff, to study the orb. Dr. Buff determined that it was a Karenese national treasure, known as the Founder's Orb. The very orb that was stolen from a treasure room in Karatin several weeks ago. Why yes, I saw a news report about that. A theft of a Karenese national treasure caused quite an uproar in the kingdom. Well, we believe that it was not, in fact, a theft in the traditional sense, but rather that it was spirited out of Karatin by someone for Dr. Buff to study. You don't say, and? Around the time an acquaintance for the defendant learned of Dr. Buff, he made contact with the doctor who agreed to hand over the orb. Apparently, the doctor wanted nothing to do with it once he learned it had been stolen. Karenese? It's a strange name, yeah. You got the impression this isn't the only case we'll be working on in this case? No, this is it. This is the end. This is gonna be 13 hours long, guys. No, I'm joking. You'll see. It seems you even have a transfer agreement between both parties. Mr. Sadmati also agrees to return the Pounder's Orb to the Kingdom of Karatin once the doctor verified it was the real thing. I see, so this dispute centers on whether the item in question is the Founder's Orb or the Crystal of Amithay. Heyo! It's, Belle. How you doing, Belle? What's up? I mean, we need some resolution to Nayuta at some point. Yeah, this is it. This is the resolution to, Nayuta. No resolution. I'm joking. Could you imagine if the game ended with this case? With this, civil case? That would be bad. That, in turn, will determine the object's rightful owner. I better bring my A-game. Going up against Mr. Wright won't be a walk in the park. Come to think of it, the name Dirk Sadmati sounds awfully familiar. But I can't recall where I've heard it. Oh, it's probably your imagination, Your Honor. He's just a tourist, after all. My imagination, you say? Are you sure about this, Apollo? He's a wanted criminal in Karatin, isn't he? Apollo will win? Let's hope so. We don't want this politician jerk to win, right? In Karatin, yes. Here, he's just a tourist. Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? It's... Emma. Emma? So some manners. We're in court. I know, it's just... This is a civil trial, so I was surprised to see a detective take the stand. I had her do some digging on Dr. Buff. What for? You disappoint me, Apollo. First, you know I'm not just a detective. I'm a forensic scientist. Try to remember that. Second, you owe Mr. Wright an apology. After all he's done for you, you have some nerve. First, I'm sorry. And second, I'm really just trying to do my job. You'll never get anywhere with that attitude. Take some advice from someone who's been there. Why do I feel like I'm on trial here? Detective Sky, your testimony, if you please. Is Emma against us too, guys? Oh, no. The police have had their eyes on Dr. Buff for some time, and just today, a number of stolen artifacts were discovered in his study. Among them were a priceless urn and a statue that were stolen from the Fae clan. It seems the doctor would do anything to study artifacts, including steal them. As for the relic at the center of this dispute, he likely stole it from the Attishan residence. The doctor is a thief? Why am I just hearing about this now? Well, Cat Burglar isn't something he'd put on his resume. He was more careful than that. Yet the fact is, he was a classic treasure hunter. Treasure hunter, huh? Like people who have thrilling adventures in exotic places, risking life and limb for glory? I doubt Dr. Buff was the star of his own hit movie series, Athena. Out of respect for the dead, I will say that Dr. Buff wasn't doing it to get rich. Apparently, he only wanted to borrow the artifacts to study them. He would then return them as soon as his research was finished. According to the doctor's child, he would even repair or restore some of the artifacts he stole before returning to them. He believed he was honoring the dead by discovering their history through artifacts. But whatever lofty ideals he held, it makes no difference. Larceny is larceny. Yes, he certainly sounds no different from a regular thief to me. So, let's say for a moment that the doctor really did moonlight in stealing artifacts. Maybe might he not have stolen the Founder's Orb in Karatin and brought it back here himself? Nope, there's no record of him traveling overseas over the past few years. Plus, he couldn't very well leave his reclusive child at home all alone. Then this really must be the Crystal of Amithay. Yes, he stole it from the Artisan residence, probably so he could study it. This is the left hook I did not need. I bet you never saw that coming, Apollo. Yeah, when Mr. Wright said the kid gloves were off, he wasn't kidding. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Hey, Angel Love. What's up? How you doing? It's good to see ya. Alright. I'm gonna try to do this one with no guide, guys. Alright? No guide whatsoever. Here.
Objection!
Darn it, it's wrong. Alright, hang on. Before you have a good grasp of the situation. Right, sorry. You're doing good today? That's good. I'm glad you're doing well. Okay, I think it's actually this.
Objection!
Oh, it's wrong again. Darn it. Man, I'm terrible at this, guys. A gambler once saying you gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Oh, I love this one. Know when to walk away, know when to run. Alright, I got this, guys. I got this. Come on, this is easy. It's, the moss.
Objection!
Oh, it's not the moss either? Huh. This is tricky, guys. This is a tricky one. Well, okay. We're kind of in trouble, but, I think it's fine. It's the note.
Objection!
Oh, darn it. Okay, last chance. Oh, I got it. It's my attorney's badge.
Objection!
Oh, that's wrong too? What? That's enough. I see no need to further prolong this trial. The defiant dragons have failed to sufficiently show their right to the item in question. Therefore, ownership is hereby awarded to the plaintiff, Mr. Paul Attition. That creep Paul Attition stole the Founder's Orb right out of our hands. The dream of revolution in the kingdom of Karatin died that day, and we returned to our daily lives. As for my relationship with Mr. Wright, the word awkward comes to mind. Let's just say it was never really the same. The end. Bad ending, guys. Did you save it all? This is just me showing you all a bad ending. Yep, that's how the game ends. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope you had a good time. Tomorrow I'll be doing Fortnite and... No, I'm joking. Okay, the right answer is actually all the way over here.
Hold it!
Sadly, no Fortnite for a bit, but let's get through this. You claim you stole a family heirloom from the Attition residence, but claiming something doesn't make it true. Unfortunately, it is true. How can you be so sure? A police report was filed concerning the theft, 1 year ago, in fact. What? A whole year ago? August 25th of last year, to be exact, the report states, and I quote, "The crystal of Amife was discovered to be missing. From the Attition storehouse at 10 a.m., the storehouse lock has been picked." Signed, Paul Attition, Wimperson. Well, a year-old report certainly leads the plaintiff's claim credence. The doctor could have really stolen the crystal of Amife. Not only that, Your Honor, but the Founder's Orb was only found to be missing several weeks ago. That is nearly a year after the crystal's theft was reported. Therefore, I believe we must consider the orb and the crystal to be two separate items. Paul Attition Wimperson? Not the most awe-inspiring tail end, is it? I see why he cut it. Not that he inspires confidence without it, still I'd probably do the same in his shoes. Wimperson. A police report was filed about the crystal's theft a year ago, but the theft of the Founder's Orb was only reported a few weeks ago, So the crystal's police report was filed way before the orb was found missing. That suggests the stolen relic in the crystal is the crystal of Amife, as Mr. Atishton Wimperson asserts. I doubt the police report is a fake. After all, Emma is the one who submitted it as evidence. Still, I feel like something we learned in that police report is important somehow. The police have You love Emma. Emma's great. You know what else is great? It's objection! Objection! The doctor stole the relic from the plaintiff. Are you sure? Because that statement doesn't agree with a certain piece of evidence. What do you mean? Take a look at this. What about it? This contains an email from the doctor's computer. An email? In that little piece of plastic? I'm afraid I don't understand. Oh, this stick here can store all sorts of computer data. I still don't get it. Hey, here, just look at this. Gotta love the judge, too. Apparently, the doctor was reporting his research findings to a certain individual. Now take a look at this. It's the police report Detective Sky presented to this court. You can see the plaintiff's legal name on it. Paul Atishton Wimperson. I can see why he dropped Wimperson from his name, but that's hardly breaking news. Look closer, Your Honor. Ah! His initials! Right. The plaintiff's full legal name is Paul Atishton Wimperson. Now consider this. The email's recipient address starts with 3 letters. P-A-W? Ah! Don't tell me. Oh, but I will anyway. The individual who hired the doctor to study the disputed item is none other than Paul Atishton Wimperson. Wait, but then that means... Exactly. He wouldn't have asked the man who stole his family heirloom to study it. Therefore, how could this possibly be the crystal of Amife? Ah! Well. Wait. Oh my god. What? It's the wimp? It's the wimp! Where's Jenny? Yep, we found the real wimp. Can we have it updated on the boot to the head bit, please? We never checked the doctor's emails. We couldn't even figure out the password to his computer. The plaintiff willingly left the orb in the doctor's care so he could study it, at the behest of his benefactor. Wait, then what about the police report? I have all the details of the theft right here. It's probably for another relic, the real crystal of Amife. He's just using the report as a way to claim that our orb is actually a stolen crystal. And how are you so certain that Pa refers to my client's initials? Maybe the email's recipient was a dog lover. Perhaps, so let's get to know your client a little better, shall we? Mr. Paul Atishton Wimperson. I suppose shutting down detractors is all part of a politician's job. Answer me this, Mr. Atishton Wimperson. What is your birthday? What is your birthday? My birthday? It's July 11th, but what is it to you? Oh, I see. You addressed birthday gifts to my office. But full disclosure, I only accept gifts valued at $1,000 or more. Why has everyone gone silent? How can anyone be that self-centered? Alright, politician. Did everyone hear that? He said July 11th. July 11th, or rather 7-11, matches the numbers in the email address. Both the name and birthday are a match. I hardly think that's a coincidence. Wait, why didn't you sneaky little... Looks like someone finally decided to join the conversation. Would the plaintiff care to explain? I would like to say that is quite... Quite what? Quite a thing you've said. Any other thoughts? No further comments. I stand by my previous statement.
Hold it!
Bye. You can't just walk away. Even politicians have to explain themselves in a court of law. I'm afraid I simply don't know how it happened. I can't possibly explain matters outside of my purview. Perhaps it was a mistake on the part of my secretary. Oh no, you don't, you slippery eel. Oh no, Mafia babe, you slippery eel. Oh no, your poor eel. Where'd he think he was going? Out. Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? I won't argue your assertion. My client had lent the treasure in question to the doctor and asked him to study it. It seems that much is a fact. Now we're getting somewhere. However, it has no bearing on the issue of ownership. How so? Mr. Attition, I fully understand your position here. You had to hide the fact that you had sent the crystal out to be studied. Your family would have been very upset if they had found out it's a family heirloom after all. You've got to be kidding me. Mr. Wright is, well, right of course. But then, he always is, that's why he's my lawyer. The crystal is a precious Attition family heirloom, and has been for centuries. But Dr. Buff was so eager to study his proud heritage, I just couldn't say no. I didn't even tell my grandfather.
Objection!
But in order to win the backing of your so-called benefactor, you were going to give what you claim to be the crystal of Amife to that person? You were going to give a precious family heirloom away, just like that? I was going to explain everything to grandfather later, honest. My client's grandfather is very proud of his grandson for following his footsteps, and if refusing him would have meant dashing the dreams of his darling grandson, I doubt the kindly old man could have said no. Well, grandchild are meant to be spoiled. That's what grandfathers are for. Your Honor, please, I mean, it's been in the family for centuries. My grandfather thinks highly of my talents as a politician. That's why he entrusted me with this very important name placard today. Wow. Oh, so I'm sure he would have been okay with me using the crystal as I saw fit. Grrr, Grandpa's spoiled little brat. I think the judge is buying it, Apollo. No surprise there. He's always going on about his own grandchild, after all. Excuse me, can I leave now, Mr. Wright? I believe my work here is done. By all means, Detective Sky. Thank you for your assistance. You're welcome. It's nice to testify at a civil trial once in a while. See you around. It seems the facts have changed somewhat. Mr. Attition Wimperson apparently lent his family heirloom to Dr. Buff. Mr. Justice, how would the defense like to proceed? Oh, alright, now what? Apollo, let's hear what they know about this so-called crystal of Amife. Maybe we can find some inconsistencies in their statements. Right. Okay then, Mr. Wright, if the item in question really is an Attition family heirloom, then let's hear all your client knows about it. Of course. Mr. Attition Wimperson, please tell the defense everything you know about the crystal's origin. All right, now then, listen and learn. This is the tale of the crystal of Amife and the illustrious history of the Attition clan. Are you ready? Our story begins back in the old country when the Attition family reigned supreme. Alright, let's hear this guy's amazing history. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. He protected the spirit mediums, a minority back then, from the rest of the locals. Some discriminated against them, you see, while others tried to abuse their power. As thanks, Amife gave the crystal she had specially made as a gift to him. I am a descendant of that great lord. As such, my political power and influence is backed by centuries of history. Well, that devolved into a great load of self-antagonizing propaganda fast. As you can see, the crystal of Amife is an heirloom of the esteemed house of Attition. And you have proof that it had always been in the Attition family? I have someone who gave a statement to that effect. My client's neighbor, one Ives Shinetto, age 85, gave the following statement. Ives Shinetto. I'm trying to find the pun in that name. The addition showed me the crystal back when I was but a lad.
Objection!
Can we really trust the memory of an old man? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain that statement to the judge? Oh, I didn't mean... What I'm trying to say is, never underestimate the memory of your elders. I may forget my verdicts the next day, but the memories of my past are clear as day. Therefore, I find Mr. Ives Shinetto's statement to be perfectly credible. Wow, did you see how Mr. Wright got the judge on his side? It's definitely a trick I want up my sleeve. You're not helping, Athena. You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Justice. No. Nuh-uh. Wrong. Yes. Alrighty. Present the research notes.
Objection!
You're not spotting the pun with that name. Must not be important. Yeah, I don't remember that name, to be honest. So, you stated that Amy Faye had the crystal made for your ancestor. So I'm meant to assume it was made in Japan? That's right. The craftsmanship is unbeatable. Well, that's strange. I don't see how your so-called crystal could have been made there. What are you talking about? It's quite obvious if you take a look at this. Let me save the game again in case things go wrongly. There's a thing that says Made in China at the bottom.
Take that!
Take a look at the distinctive design here. According to Dr. Buff, it's a Mitama motif dating back to the early days of the Kingdom of Karatin. The Kingdom of Karatin? And you base this on? Here, this piece of evidence, Your Honor. Doctor's research notes on the Founder's Orb. This is the box in which the orb was originally stored. It features the same pattern as the one found on the orb. They do look the same pattern. Therefore, I assert that the disputed item must have been made in the Kingdom of Karatin. Ah! Eek! My placard!
Objection!
The Karain channeling technique originated in the Kingdom of Karatin, and Amy Faye is known to have traveled there to train. With that in mind, what's to say she didn't bring that pattern back with her?
Objection!
But since this is clearly a Karanese design, not even you can deny the possibility that it was made there, in the Kingdom of Karatin.
Objection!
Anything's possible to some extent. That doesn't make it true, so you can't conclude that the orb is from Karatin based solely on that pattern. If it were that simple, I could just as easily say it's Japanese. I have to agree with Mr. Wright. The pattern alone proves nothing. But that also means there's no basis to claim the item in dispute was made in Japan either. At this rate, we're going nowhere fast. Hark, he's right. We're just spinning our wheels here. I wonder if we have any evidence that could break the stalemate. Evidence that could break the stalemate. It doesn't exist. There doesn't seem to be anything we can use, at least not at this point. Well, unless we can find something, this trial won't be going anywhere. Yeah, looks great. Whew, that's much better. What's his deal? I have a suggestion. Why don't we consider this from a different angle? I'm listening. What if the Defiant Dragons really were authorized to take possession of the relic? I'm afraid I don't know where you're going with this, Mr. Wright. Consider the orb transfer agreement, which states, I agree to hand over the Founder's Orb to the Defiant Dragons if I will come to no harm. What if, as the last part suggests, this was written under duress? That would render the agreement null and void. What are you suggesting, Mr. Wright? While you were on your little cave expedition, I was investigating Dr. Buff's accident. And there was something you overlooked, Mr. Justice. Namely, that his accident might have actually been murder. What? Murder? But, Mr. Wright, do realize such statements are not made to be lightly? Are you suggesting the doctor was murdered by the Defiant Dragons? Yes, but follow me on this for a sec. The books that came tumbling down were from the archaeology shelf. However, among that mountain of books was a single volume of psychology. What's more, there was some blood on it. And you feel this is important because the books that came tumbling down were from the top shelf, the archaeology books. We know this because the doctor's books were meticulously organized by subject. Archaeology books took up the entire shelf, so that psychology book is completely out of place. Come to think of it, the shelves were arranged quite carefully. It's also worth noting that psychology books only take up a tiny part of the bottom shelf. You might wonder why a book on psychology was found amid the pile of archaeology books, but I believe I can explain what that single out-of-place book was doing there. The doctor was struck from behind while selecting a psychology book from the shelf. And that's when the blood got on the book? Precisely, and to make it look like an accident, he was buried under a mountain of archaeology books. What? Wait a second, this is all just speculation, right? Or do you have proof that it was murder? Of course I do. You do? On a hunch, I had Detective Skye examine the doctor's head wound. She found that he'd been struck by the corner of some object or another. Wait, what? A wound like that couldn't have resulted from a fall on the floor, you know. Do you understand what this means, Mr. Justice? The wound made it crystal clear that Dr. Buff was murdered. What? Well, that was unexpected. Who'd have thought we'd break out of the stalemate like this? He pulled the ladder right out from under us. Still, if he thinks that's enough to make me back down, he's got another thing coming. So the question is, who's the murderer, guys? Or better, question is, who do you want to be the murderer? Even if the cause of death was murder, what makes you think it was the Defiant Dragons? You should know better than to hurl baseless accusations.
Objection!
Did you forget who you were up against, Mr. Justice? Huh? You didn't actually think I'd come to court without witnesses and evidence, did you? The obvious answer is Paul. Yep. What are you talking about? I would like to request further testimony from the platelet. Specifically, I would like the court to hear how he saw one of the rebels leaving the crime scene. He saw what? Yep. We're winning Hellfire Skyrim somehow. Somehow. How are you? If he can prove it was murder, then that's the end of our client's right to the orb. Did he have this up his sleeve the whole time? Grr, how could Mr. Wright do this to us? He was just waiting to spring this trap. Heh. This trial has taken another unexpected turn, but I must mention, Mr. Wright, that you have yet to identify the murder weapon. The object used to commit the murder was not located at the scene of the crime. The murderer likely disposed of it elsewhere. You really learned of another something anime? What's that word you said there? Wholesome-ish anime. Well, what would that be? Well, I never thought we'd be deliberating on the issue of a murder at a silver trial. All right, Mr. Attition Whipperson, your testimony, if you please. The masterful cat is impressed again today. Another weird name. I'll look it up as soon as I can. Prepare to be dazzled. Dazzled by charismatic oration forged in the crucible of campaign battles. Okay. That evening, I was walking alone, lost in thought. I passed by the doctor's house, and that's when I saw Mr. R. Rebel. He was running out the front door. It was around 10 at night. Surely that must have been him fleeing the scene of the crime. A vote for me is a vote to end such violence. That is my promise to you. A cat is giant and cooks for its human. Interesting. Yeah, I'll check it out when I can, Hellfire Skyrim. So the platelet saw a possible suspect fleeing from the doctor's residence? And it was within the window of the esteemed time of death? That's a rebel. What in the world were you doing there, then? It seems Mr. R. Rebel was loitering around Karain village that day. There's evidence he was in the doctor's study as well. Isn't that right, Mr. Justice? You mean the suitcase? Exactly. He must have been quite the rush to leave that behind. Oh, and by the way, Your Honor, Mr. R. Rebel just so happens to be sitting in the gallery today. Ack! See? That's him trying to escape as we speak. Bailiff, don't let that man get away! Right, you backstabber! Why are you doing this to me? Oh dear. Alright, the counsel/defense may question the plaintiff/witness once more. Ahem, please proceed, Mr. Justice. So, no, but, yeah.
Hold it!
Where exactly were you when you saw Mr. R. Rebel? Right here, under this tree. I saw him dashing out of Dr. Buff's front door. That's not the front door. And he didn't notice you? No, I was hidden by the tree. Is it really all that important to know that where the plaintiff saw Mr. R. Rebel? Yes, it is. Duh. Yes, I believe it matters a lot. I ask that it please be added to the witness's testimony. I was under this tree when I saw Mr. R. Rebel. He was running out of the front door.
Hold it!
Did you notice anything unusual? Yes, his behavior was incredibly suspicious. His eyes were darting all around as he ran off in total panic. As soon as I saw that, I knew he had done something and it probably wasn't good. Despite that, you still didn't report it to the police? Who would have thought he had killed Dr. Buff? Not me, that's why I didn't report him. So, the witness didn't notify the police? Is that an important statement, Mr. Justice? Yes it is. I did the wrong one. Go back. Can I rewind, guys? Can I rewind life?
Hold it!
Hold it! Yes, it's important. I request that the witness add it to his testimony. Fair. Sure, why not? I had no idea that Dr. Buff was dead. That's why I didn't call the police. Is that so, Mr. Jerkface? There it is.
Objection!
Yeah! Okay, Mr. Attition Whipperson rather than Mr. R. Rebel. Wasn't there something else that should have had your undivided attention? Like what? Oh, yes, of course. A politician must also keep his finger on the elaborate's pulse. Sorry, but you're way off. I am? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? If the witness saw Mr. Rebel from his position here, then he should have also been able to see the doctor's body. After all, it was right next to a huge window. Why, I believe you have a point there. With the body that clearly visible to the witness, it's unthinkable that he wouldn't have reported it to the police. Ah. Would the witness care to respond? Did he fall asleep? Mr. Attishan Wimperson? Mr. Attishan Wimperson! Huh? Oh, there are many sides to any issue. What did I ever do to deserve this? In any case, I'd like the court to acknowledge the inconsistency in the witness's testimony. Mr. Attishan Wimperson, did you really see Mr. Rebel? Yes. Bye. Where do you think you're going? Oh, I thought I'd return to my seat, seeing as I had already answered the question. This isn't some small town hall debate, so you just stay right there until I say we're through. I'll have to run that by my campaign manager before I... Objection! Glare. Gulp. Mr. Attishan Wimperson, I think it's time for you to come clean. Huh? So then, does this mean he didn't see Mr. Rebel? As your lawyer, Mr. Attishan Wimperson, I advise you to divulge that matter we discussed. Silence is no longer an option. Are you sure about this? I'm in the midst of running for office. I can't afford to let any strange rumors get out. Don't worry, you won't suffer any blowback for what you're about to reveal. Blowback? I'm not sure I like the sound of that, Mr. Wright. Not to worry, Your Honor. Nothing untoward will come of this, I promise. Now then, Mr. Justice. Remember how it was an anonymous caller that reported the doctor's death? Come to think of it. Emma, who was the first one to discover the body? About that, whoever it was, it seems they wanted to remain anonymous. What? It happens now and then. Some people would rather not get involved with the police. Wait, you're not saying that... Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. The anonymous source who contacted the police after discovering the body was... my client, Mr. Paul Attishan Wimperson. What? You don't say. So you see, he played his part as a concerned citizen, quite admirably, if I may say so. Isn't that right? Yes, indeed. In our society today, there are too many who choose indifference over righteous action, but I don't number among them. That's why I did my duty as a concerned citizen. One might call me the model citizen, one worthy of standing above the rest. What a real standard bearer he is, reporting it anonymously. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Justice, wasn't there someone else at the scene of the crime when my client discovered the body? Oh, you mean Mr. Rebel? He would have been leaving the doctor's house right around then. Wait, but that means... Yes, it does. In short, what my client witnessed was Mr. Rebel fleeing the scene of a heinous murder. Ah! And that's not all. Based on what we've heard so far, Mr. Rebel looked exceedingly suspicious, and that's putting it mildly. We already know the Defiant Dragons threatened to the doctor with bodily harm. And now they've killed him. This so-called orb transfer agreement is null and void. Ag! Apollo, if we don't come up with some sort of counter-argument, and what sort of evidence do you have? Can you actually prove it was Mr. Rebel who killed the doctor? That move had desperate written all over it. It's all I've got, so I'm going with it. Evidence? I suppose it's true that I don't have any. I knew it. But I do have another witness. You do? You should know I always come fully prepared, Mr. Justice, and my new witness will provide testimony proving Mr. Rebel's guilt. Grrr. A new witness? I wonder who it could be. Very well. Bailiff, please summon our new witness. In the meantime, the court will take a brief recess. I would like both sides to use this time to prepare properly. Understood? Woo! Wow, I knew Mr. Wright would put up a tough fight, but... yeah, just when I thought we had him, he turned the tables on us. He really is the turnabout terror. We can't let him blindside us again. Looks like they got me again. 3 times in 1 year. That's a new record. Har 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 har. Dats, please, no more new records or bad puns while you're at it. It's hard enough trying to help you as it is. Roger that, I'll be more careful next time. Love it, huh? Dats, is what Mr. Wright said true? Did you really pay a visit to Dr. Buff that night? Sure did. Can't remember the exact time, though. All I know is he wouldn't hand over the orb. Someone put it in his head that we rebels were dangerous. That's why he threw me out. So the doctor was still alive when Dats last saw him. We still have to prove it, though. Better brace yourself, son. The next witness testimony could make or break this case. Yeah, I know. Hey, where's Trucy? She went to go see your dad. Maybe she's still mad. More like worried. Worried that this trial will create a rift between you two, and that you might need to leave the agency. She has an active imagination. Excuse me, the trial will be resuming shortly. Well, let's see what the new testimony awaits us. Guess I'll choose now, guys, to do the Disney movie update. Last night's Disney movie was really, really good. It was another Pixar movie. It involved a lot of dead people, a lot of the Day of the Dead kind of thing. It took place in Mexico, I believe, and it starred a young boy who loved music. And the animation is kind of amazing in this one. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It also rhymes with Boko. Coco is without question one of the finest movies ever made. I know. It's crazy good. Possibly one of Pixar's last amazing original movies. Maybe. We'll see how the future movies go that I'm about to see. But yep, Coco is so cool you loved it. It is. The twist at the ending and the characters. Oh, so good. And I think that one came out in 2017, or was it 17? So yeah, we're getting to the end, guys. Okay, moving on. That was the movie. It was good. I loved it. All right, court is back in session. Mr. Wright, you said you had a witness. Your Honor, I would like to call the lone survivor of the doctor's murder to the stand. Wait, you can't mean that Sarge is here? You mean Dr. Buff's reclusive son? How did you get him to cooperate? Nothing a little persuasion couldn't handle. The poor child only agreed to help if it meant catching the killer. Getting a kid like that to overcome his fear, now that's impressive. This must be really important testimony for the kid to come out in public like this. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please call your witness to the stand. Huh. Oh my. Sergeant Buff at your service, sir. He's here as the drone? Really? Mr. Wright, what exactly is the meaning of this? Past trauma has rendered it impossible for the witness to venture into public. Leaving home was hard enough, and it seems leaving the witness lobby was just too much. But I would still like to continue with testimony delivered via this drone. I understand it must be terrible to lose one's father like that, but testimony via a remote-controlled toy? Well, let's not take things for a spin and see how it goes. Just who's the piloting this trial anyway? Lol, nope. I guess Captain Chips answered my question for me. Would this be allowed? The judge sure warmed up to the idea fast. I think the phrase you're looking for is gave up. You disappoint me, Corporal Justice, to think I once called you comrade. And would that be allowed? Him firing, like, bullets via, whatever that gun is called. Will it even be close to allowed? Defending the man who killed Papa? That's full-on treason, soldier. I hereby demote you back to private. Corporal? Private? What's he talking about, Apollo? It's a long story. Now then, are you ready to testify, youngster? Locked and loaded, sir. Ready to raid, lead, and down upon the perpetrator. Anonymous testimony is a thing. Actually, it's used for cases where the witness may be killed in retaliation. Or, like D. Killer. And no, obviously the minigun would be completely illegal. I guess it is for this youngster, huh? What do you think Sarge looks like, guys? The real Sarge. Papa met with someone the night he died. I didn't have eyes on the ground as I'd already mounted my siege defense, but I did hear him arguing with someone in the study. From my window, I saw the one designated deaths getting ejected from the premises. After that, the man lingered around the perimeter for some time. He must have regrouped and killed my Papa in the study later. I just know it. So he was thrown out, but later returned and committed the murder, did he? Yes, Your Honor. So the man my client saw really must have been the fleeing Mr. R. Rebel. Objection! Right, you backstabbing no good. I didn't kill no one. It's the enemy. Ready all missiles. And fire! Whoa, 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 whoa. So, would missiles be allowed? Ha 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 ha. Capitalist pig, I'll turn you into pork stroganoff. That's just a taste of my ultimate anti-swine weapon. Whoa, it fires missiles too? Yes, well, the witness is all yours, Mr. Justice. Welp! Like, missiles would be allowed, right? I think missiles would be allowed. Things that blow up. Then my eyes on the ground as I'd already mounted my siege defense spot. Alright, what do you think of this?
Objection!
Give me a second, lads. Okay. Sarge, are you hiding something from me? How is it that every one of Apollo Justice games includes someone who would be immediately, declared a domestic terrorist? Good question. Apollo gets the rough ones, huh? Sarge, are you hiding something? How dare you question your superior officer like that? You want to get in on this Stroganoff action with Pig Boy over there, soldier? Sorry, but I'm afraid lawyers are missile-proof. What? Would the defense care to explain? It's simple, Your Honor. Just as he is about to see what is happening in court right now, Sarge was able to see what was happening in the study then. With his cherished drone, of course. Now that you mention it. And to think the answer was right before our eyes this whole time. Sarge, you were perfectly capable of patrolling the study that night, so you must have seen something. Arg! I'm hit. What is the strange new weaponry you're using against me? Courtroom warriors don't use guns or missiles because evidence is our weapon of choice. Guys, new game. A way to continue the Apollo Justice Phoenix Wright games. Courtroom warriors. We'll make it happen. And the evidence has exposed your bald-faced lie. My truth bomb, Sarge, has stripped your defenses bare. truth bomb? No! Arg! Mayday, mayday, I'm going down! That would be epic. I know! Come on! That would be the perfect way to continue it. I mean, they did include Phoenix in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Yeah. Why not Apollo? Maybe Maya? Edgeworth for sure. Make it happen. Oh my, are you alright? Cough, splutter, evidence. Never have I seen such fearsome ordnance. Tell it to us straight, Sarge. After all, you want to help your father, don't you? Papa. Yes, you want to find out who killed him, don't you? So please, tell us what you saw that night. It's not what you think. I didn't see anything. I swear. You sure? You seem awfully stressed for someone who didn't see anything. Grrr. Wah! Sarge, you need to answer my question. Shut your pie hole, maggot. It'll be a scorching day in Siberia before a lowly private like you orders me around. What's with him in Siberia, of all places? But if a scorching day is what it'll take, then maybe it's time to turn up the heat. Hey, Athena, you think a therapy session might help? Well, it could help elevate some of his anxiety. Plus, I'm picking up a lot of discord in Sarge's voice. That usually means it's the patient wants to say something but can't for some reason. And in Sarge's case, I imagine whatever's plaguing him is pretty severe. In that case, I leave it to you and your mood matrix magic. You got it! Your Honor, I believe I can be of help here. Time for a therapy session, is it, Miss Sykes? Yes, it will help with a witness with his anxiety, maybe even enough to testify. Then by all means, please bring this poor child out into the light of day. Oh, but I assume this will be all right with you, Mr. Wright? Why not? It's like we haven't been through this before. What are you butting in for, lady? There ain't a place on this battlefield for you. I beg to differ, Sarge. This G.I. Jane's always ready for a fight in the courtroom. And wait until you see what I've got in my arsenal. Analytical psychology. With it, I'm going to blow a big ol' hole in the armor you built around your heart. Wah! First evidence, now analytical psychology? Where are these WMDs coming from? Well, if it's a battle you want, bring it on. You may have started this war, but I'm going to end it. Corpse woman Sykes. You got it, Sarge. Time to seek out the agony buried deep in your heart. Brace yourself. And here we go. I stayed in my room with my drone that evening. I heard Dats and Papa arguing with each other. Dats got kicked out, but I saw him leave still hanging around outside. I was in my room, so I didn't know Papa was dead until the next day. Is that so? Well, why, shocked or whatever. Got it! That's strange. You reacted with shock when you discovered your father's body. Yet, you weren't nearly as shocked as then when you saw Mr. R. Rebel. Normally, you'd expect the death of one's father to be much more impactful. Enemy fire! Direct hit! That is strange. Wonder what it could mean. Well, we know it wasn't as affected by his father's death as he should have been, and I think I know why. Oh? Sarge, you weren't as shocked as seeing your father's body as seeing Mr. R. Rebel's because... Okay. Give me a second. You'd already seen the body or whatever. Sarge. Maybe the truth is you left your room that night, and that's when you saw it, your father's body. I saw no such thing. Really? You didn't see his body? Alright then. What did you see? Yay! Look, Apollo, we've lost some noise. So, just as I suspected, you really did see something. Sarge, please, tell us what you saw. Oh, but. The moment I saw it, I couldn't bear it. I couldn't stand to lose yet another loved one. Huh? Am I missing something here? Is that why you weren't very shocked when you found out your father was dead? Because you had already sensed that he was a goner somehow? Maybe. Please, Sarge, what was it you saw on the night of your father's murder? Oh, I saw... heard... Whoa! What's happening? I don't like where this is going. Yarg! No more, please! Eek! Help! Uh-oh. Oh no. I've confiscated your little toy. The battlefield is no place for unauthorized equipment. What, Widget? Apollo, I can't continue the session without him. Calm yourself, this isn't witness. I hereby order you to submit you to your therapy session. What in blazes? Look at me, I'm judge, jury, and executioner now. Hereby convene a military tribunal. How in trouble is Sarge right now, guys? How very, very in trouble is Sarge at the moment for stealing the gavel? Whoa, this has gone way too far. The bailiff, arrest that drone this instant! Rawr! Stop, brother! Arg! If you don't come quietly, I'll fire! Get Widget back, right? Eek! Yeah, again, guys, how massively in trouble is Sarge in right now? Is he, like, all the way in trouble? Like, mega in trouble? He's gone deep, to say the least. Hang on a minute. I think, it is, Siller for Life. Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? This guy is in some big trouble, he is. But yeah, I hope you're doing good. Huff, puff, cough, cough. Woo! Finally got him back. Nice work. This witness is truly a handful. Oh, up, 2, 3, 4. Whoa! Miss Sykes, what's the witness's current psychological state? Let's see. He's emotionally all over the map. So, his out-of-control emotions are in control of him, huh? Doesn't that mean we can calm him down if we can figure out the root cause? Yes, so let's see what we can find. Is Phoenix the prosecution? Kind of. This is a civil case, or whatever you call it. And he's just the other attorney that we're up against. But now there's a murder, so who knows what's going on anymore. Oh, is that you, corpsewoman Sykes? I'm here. Now, I want you to take a few deep breaths. Just try to relax. Try it with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah, it's a crazy case. In, out, in, out. And now, let's your emotions take you where they will. Go on, just let it all out. Cult cases are like that. Or civil cases, rather. Civil cases are like that indeed. All forces attack! That's the least relaxing breathing exercise I've ever seen. Ah! Datch was still hanging around after he got kicked out when... I heard more fighting, and I got worried about Papa. So I left my room, but suddenly... I got dizzy and passed out. I remember a flame lighting up the room, and Papa was grinning with delight. That's when he must have been killed, if only I hadn't passed out. Okay. Right here. Papa grinning with delight. Probe the flames. When did the flames do the thing?
Got it!
Got it! That's it. Sarge, you were overcome with a shock and fear when you saw those flames, weren't you? Was I? Yes, just 6 months ago, you and your mother were caught up in an arsonist blaze. So it's no wonder you would be extremely scared of fire. Yes, that does make sense. And maybe, just maybe, your subconscious fear of fire was what caused you to withdraw from the world. What do you mean, Corpse Woman Sykes? Be back? Or you're back? Welcome back, Belle. How you doing? What's up? In the outside world, you were bound to come across all sorts of fire. Candles, cigarettes, heck, even the grill at a diner. Even if it's not that often, just the idea that you might see them grew bigger and bigger until you couldn't shut it out. I think you might be onto something. Candles, cigarettes, just thinking about them sends a chill down my spine. You're doing great. Awesome. Well, the things I take for granted. Now I see. I was afraid. Afraid of the fire. Strange, I didn't even realize it myself. About that fire, Sarge, can you tell me what it was burning? Just stay calm and maybe something will come to you. Oh, Oh, I'm starting to remember. It was that relic. That relic Papa was studying. It was on fire. The orb was on fire? It's still kind of fuzzy, but yes, the orb was burning right in front of Papa. And there in the flames was... Mama? Yes, now I remember. I saw Mama appear amid the dancing flames. Wait, what? Oh dear. Oh dear. Not done yet. What's going on here? Maybe it's a memory from the fire that killed his mother. He might be confusing it with what really happened when his father died. So let me guess, more therapy? Yep, but this time, it seems there's an inconsistency in his statements, and I think we should be able to prove it with the evidence at hand. Hope this inconsistency is the key to proving that the relic really is the Founder's Orb. Okay. No. No. Nuh-uh. Info update. That's when Papa must have been killed, if only I hadn't passed out. Well, wait a minute. The Founder's Orb is the Founder's Orb.
Objection!
Don't blame yourself, Sarge. After all, even if you hadn't passed out... hey stars! Over Hyrule, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the big Apollo versus Phoenix Wright case. How you doing? Good to see ya. The outcome wouldn't have been the same. What do you mean? I'm talking about the time of death. Your father wasn't killed right after you left your room. What? Explain yourself at once, Private Justice. You said you saw your father burning the orb, right? But that night, he went out to hide it in a cave. So, what you saw, Sarge, was something that happened before your father left to hide the orb. Ah! So you see, you didn't pass out right before he was killed. You passed out right before he left for the cave to hide the orb in the ruins within. So even if I hadn't passed out... That's right. the outcome would have been exactly the same. That's because your father, Dr. Buff, was killed after he returned from the ruins. And therefore, Sarge, there's no need for you to blame yourself.
Oh, I see. Private Justice?
You're good, how are you? I am good. Oh, you gotta go. Take care. Hello and take care. Who is it? Froggy Man. I'll see you later. But yeah, I'm good. We're getting closer to finishing this game.
Can you really say that I bear no blame in this?
Why do you ask?
Because the truth is, if I hadn't engaged in my siege defense, Papa would still be alive.
Sarge,
Papa wished nothing more than for me to lead a happy, healthy life. That's why he quit his job and moved us out, away from the big city. But even then, I didn't have the courage to set foot in the outside world. And in the end, I failed to make Papa's wish come true.
Sarge? If you want to make your father's wish come true, if that's what you really want, then who's to say it's too late? Why don't you take the first step now?
My first step?
That's right. You can cast off all your regret. You can stop standing still and start moving forward. You have the power within you. I have to go in 7 minutes because of school.
School?
Well, don't worry. We're about to see what Sarge looks like. Very, very soon, Belle. I know from experience. I know what it's like to feel like you do. But only you can decide to take that first step. If you don't change your tactics now, Sarge, the victory you seek is in the war you're waging will always lie beyond your grasp.
I think I understand now. I've made up my mind. As of this moment, I will suspend my siege defense indefinitely.
And here we go. Wheelchair. And there she is. Huh? Sergeant Buff, reporting for duty. What? I thought you were a guy. You're definitely not the gruff drill sergeant I envisioned. You cute. Well, my mama was in the Russian army. I was just as shocked, but it certainly explained a few things when I found out too. May I introduce you to Miss Army Buff, age 12. No way. Careful, soldier. Don't forget I could blow you away at a moment's notice. She's just too cute. So, have you always been in a wheelchair, Sarge? Uh-oh. What happened? Here, I'll allow. Sarge looks like a girl. Sarge is a girl. Oh my, cute. I know. Sarge looks cool. Sarge looks like a girl. She is a girl. So, how long have you been in a wheelchair, Sarge? Negative. Only since I was injured. In the fire. Your voice sounds awfully different from before. My drone features on a voice modulation device. It's just one of the Army's many technological marvels. Well, you fooled me. I thought some 20-something military fanatic was at the controls. If it's all the same to you, troops, I'd like to continue my testimony. I've just remembered something, and it's as crisp and clear as a trumpet at roll call. What did you remember? It wasn't my mother who appeared in the burning orb. It was some lady Papa had shown me a picture of a long time ago. He said it was the Holy Mother, the founder of Quranism. She appeared right there, right in the burning orb. Huh? What did you just say? Zero! Bye-bye! Have to go? I'll see you later, Belle. Be well, alright? Have a good day at the schools tomorrow. The Holy Mother of Quranism was in the burning orb? What does that even mean? I have a bad feeling about this. Could it be? Could this explain what Sarge meant by the Holy Mother appearing in the burning orb? Alright, give me a second. Ooh. So now, in this guide I'm reading, the things aren't, like shown, the, right answers. You have to actually read paragraphs to find the right answer. We'll try this one. Dr. Buff's research notes? What do they have to do with this? Look at this, the burning orb, the appearance of the founder. This part points to both. Ugh, god damn it. Present the, this. It's funny, you were watching the Ace Attorney, animation before this. What did you think of it? The anime. Give me a second. Anime, not animated? Yeah. I actually own the anime. I like it. There's a legend about the orb involving a mysterious riddle, and this song in turn is said to contain the key to solving it. If the legend is true, then I believe the answer lies in this part of the song. Offer thy prayers as fervent as fire, only then shalt the Holy Mother return. Well, anyone see where I'm going with this? Prayers as fervent as fire. Ah! You're supposed to set the orb on fire? The whole stanza seems to suggest that the founder will appear if the orb is set on fire. Wait, so the doctor, he... Yes, Athena. He had solved the ancient riddle of the founder's orb. Oh my! Papa was a great archaeologist, so I believe in him, and I want to believe he achieved his long-time dream of solving that riddle before he died. Well, we won't know for sure, until we try it for ourselves. Yes, do it, Private Justice, please. I want to see what Papa was searching for with my own eyes. The plaintiff must object to this. Objection! The platelets will stand down and be quiet. You don't have the right to set a precious relic like that on fire. Objection! Oh, but I do. All I needed was Sarge's permission. Since we still don't know if this treasure is the Founder's Orb or the Crystal of Amife, any ownership rights the Doctor had now belongs to his daughter. Therefore, you have absolutely no right to stop us. Grr. Very well, Mr. Justice. I never thought I'd be saying this, but you may burn the evidence. Alright, here we go. You're on the 4th case of the game. See if it finished it. Oh, I gotcha. 4th case of the first game. Well, I hope you like it. Would be nice if the Apollo Justice games were animated too. Oh, snap. Look! Apollo, the inside of the orb. It's melting. There's something in there. Oh. Ah! Dirk, isn't she? Her garb leaves no room for doubt. It's the Founder herself. Face and all. This joke... that joke is actually fantastic.
What joke? Sorry, I'm slow.
I don't understand. The greatest of taboos in Quranism is the depiction of the Founder's face. Yet here it is, hidden within this orb. In justice you may turn the evidence. Oh, in justice you may burn the evidence.
I gotcha.
Sorry, Mr. Wright, but as you can see, the issue is crystal clear. This figure is the Holy Mother, founder of Quranism. And based on that, this must be none other than the Founder's orb. But be that as it may, Mr. R. Rebel still may have killed the Doctor. If so, it would render the orb transfer agreement null and void. Don't play it dumb, Mr. Wright. The truth of the matter has already been proven. Dr. Buff wasn't killed right after Sarge saw Mr. R. Rebel. It happened after the Doctor came back from hiding the orb. And you've no proof that Mr. R. Rebel was still around at the time. Your claim that the Defiant Dragons were behind the crime doesn't hold water. And that means the orb transfer agreement is still perfectly valid. Arg! Admit it, Mr. Wright. I just burned your whole case to the ground. Oh, no! I won? I actually won? Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? Respond? I didn't think so. Wait, did we just win? Did we actually beat the Turnabout Terror? You're amazing, Apollo. But don't just stand there, Wright. Do something. Well, I don't think there's any digging out of this hole. Mr. Addison Wimperson, I think it's time for your concession speech. I have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is the Founder's Orb. The facts don't lie, but you obviously do. How's that for a campaign slogan? Well, why, you contemptuous peasant? I think this is a good time to wrap up this trial. If both parties have no further objections, I will render my verdict. No objections here, Your Honor. No I'm gonna go back to watching your anime. Alrighty. Take care, my friend. I will see you soon, hopefully. Bye! You can't do this. The crystal is mine. I'll lose the election if I lose that crystal. I'm sorry, but there's really nothing more I can do. You haven't forgotten about our little chat, have you? What's going on here? Objection! Your Honor, I object to the defense's last claim. What? I don't believe they have truly proven that the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. Objection! Mr. Wright, I don't think even you could bluff your way out of this one. What possible argument could you have to claim that this isn't the Founder's Orb? About that. Oh, of course. He can't possibly have hit on something. The defense's assertion is incomplete. And this is why. Their claim that this relic is the Founder's Orb is based on a legend, and that legend claims that the Founder will return when the riddle is solved at last. Right, and that's what happened. The Founder was revealed for all to see. But Mr. Justice, what about the rest of the legend? Huh? According to the legend, once the Founder returned, she would bestow spiritual power unto the person who solved the riddle. You're kidding, right? Well, Mr. Justice, do you feel great spiritual power coursing through your veins? No. But receiving spiritual powers and stuff, it's all just mystic mumbo-jumbo, right? Maybe so, but you're the one basing your claim on said legend. And what we saw here does not fully fulfill it, does it? No, but... Consequently, you cannot rightfully claim that this is the Founder's Orb. He's asleep again. What's gotten into him? Why is Mr. Wright doing this? It would appear that Mr. Wright has lost a few of his marbles. That couldn't be further from the truth, Your Honor. In any case, I believe this is a good time for a recess. Both sides will have 20 minutes to prepare. Ask that all arguments be ready by then. Oh, and Mr. Wright, you'd do well to wash up and find your missing marbles by then, too. It still begs the question, why is Mr. Wright helping this guy? What is going on here, guys? Mr. Wright is sure acting funny. I mean, he's famous for going out on a limb, but that's the last assertion. That last assertion was just plain crazy. Okay. It's either a bluff or a Hail Mary. Either way, it doesn't make much sense. Maybe there's something we're missing here. Although, he seemed perfectly normal when we spoke earlier. Apollo, I have a bad feeling about this. I'm going to go check up on him. What's going on with you, Mr. Wright? Hey, Private Justice. Oh, Sarge. I forgot to mention something. On the night of Papa's murder, a strange thing happened. Oh, but why are you only telling me about it now? Well, I didn't say anything before because I thought Papa's death was an accident. But now that we know otherwise, I figured it might be important. There's still more to this case? When I left my room and lost consciousness, I passed out right here. That's right above the coffee bar. But when I came to, someone was pushing my wheelchair. What? I was so scared I beat a hasty retreat, as fast as my legs could carry me. Do you know who it was? No, it was pitch black. Plus, I fled to my room so fast I didn't even have a chance to turn on the lights. Maybe it was your father. No, he would have said something to me. Besides, I'd have known if it was him. So then, it could have been... Your father's real killer? My thoughts exactly. But you didn't report this to the police? It didn't even occur to me. It's okay. You were obviously still upset. Don't beat yourself up over it. Apollo, this could be really important information. I think the act of pushing Sarge's wheelchair could be part of some bigger scheme. It's hard to see why else the killer would have done such a thing. Guess I should take your statement down as evidence. Oh, welcome back, Athena. What's with the long face? How'd it go with Mr. Wright? What should I... Athena? Oops, sorry. Zoned out there for a sec. The recess is almost over, so let's go. Ha 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 ha. What was that all about? What's going on here, guys? Alright, court is once again back in session. Now, Mr. Wright, about that last objection you raised. We, the plaintiffs, still believe that the defense has yet to sufficiently prove its case. They claim that, according to legend, the Founder's Orb would bestow spiritual power, that the relic in question has failed to do so, therefore it has failed in its own test. I see. He's sticking with that ridiculous argument? Furthermore, even if it is the Founder's Orb, it can't be awarded to the Defiant Dragons. After all, they were the ones who killed Dr. Buff. Objection! What are you talking about? That was already proven to be false. There are no grounds for asserting that the Defiant Dragons murdered the Doctor. Oh, but I'm afraid there are, Mr. Justice. Your Honor, I would like to present new testimony to this court. Testimony that will show that Dat, our rebel, did in fact kill Dr. Buff. What? Very well, you may call your witness. I guess Mr. Wright found another new angle. What new testimony could there be this late in the game? Oh, not him again. Fellow citizens, it is I, Paul Asherton, Paul Attition, the once and future representative of the people. Jeez, not him again. My client divulged new information to me during the recess. He remembered something he saw, you see, something crucial to this case. How very convenient. It was around 11 at night, and I was out on a mobile meet and greet around the village. That's when I saw Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. Mr. Arrebel snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. His weapon of choice, a suitcase. A big, strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase into someone's head. Great. You saw the murder as it happened? And you're just telling us now because... I saved the best for last. It's a tactic known to all political greats. The murder weapon was a complete mystery, but my client eyewitness account has finally brought it into light. According to the autopsy report, Dr. Buff was struck in the head by the corner of some object. Suppose that could very well be the corner of a suitcase. Objection! But eyewitness testimony isn't the same as hard evidence. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that if I were you. What's that supposed to mean? We have physical evidence too. A luminol test revealed. Uh-oh. The doctor's blood on Mr. Arrebel's suitcase. Really? But how does that prove Mr. Arrebel used it as a weapon? Objection! You should know the answer to that, Mr. Justice. Since you know as well as I that the suitcase is covered in his fingerprints. Ah! I forgot we dusted it right in front of Emma. Yeah, this is a no-no. The turnabout terror strikes again. This is quite convincing testimony and evidence. Nevertheless, you may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Are we in trouble? It was around another meet and greet around the village. I was one of the murder to remove the window. Mr. Arrebel snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. Hold it! He snuck up from behind? So you're saying the doctor never even realized Mr. Arrebel was there? That's right. He was utterly absorbed in a book. I see. What did you see Mr. Arrebel do next? He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident, but that idiot didn't realize I could see everything from the outside the window. One of those statements doesn't feel right. Your Honor, I believe the witness made an important statement just about how... The doctor was reading a book. The doctor was reading a book at the time of the murder? That's vital testimony. Very well, the witness will please add that statement to his testimony. The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book. Really? How could he see the book without his glasses? Objection! The doctor was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book, you say? I'm sorry, but it seems your testimony is completely unreliable. That's quite a bold statement. Well, let's hear you back it up. I challenge you to prove that I am anything but 100% reliable. It would be my pleasure. Lately, it seems the doctor's eyes has gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. However, his reading glasses were over on his desk. Oh, you see, there's no way he could have been reading in front of the bookshelves. I'm sorry, Mr. Addison Wimperson. Attition Wimperson, but I'm going to have to ask you to explain this discrepancy to the voting public. You what? I'll explain it, you lowly cur. I simply made a mistake, you see. The doctor was actually sitting at his desk when Mr. Arrebel hit him over the head. But then the doctor would have been facing him. Surely he would have seen him and tried to run. Dr. Bluff was nodding off. I could tell because his eyes were closed and he wasn't moving. Sounds more like what you would do. Then how do you explain the fact that he was struck in the back of the head? Isn't it something that should be impossible from the front of the desk? Oh, about that. He bowed his head when he nodded off. That's when he was clobbered. So that's what you saw. Well, Mr. Justice, that sounds like a perfectly reasonable explanation to me. Do you have a problem with the proposal that the doctor was struck while nodding off? A big problem, maybe? There is a problem, a very big problem. The witness's statement doesn't hold up under the slightest bit of scrutiny. Is that so? Then will you please show this court what evidence you have to justify this? Gladly, Your Honor. This shows the problem with the witness's claim that he saw the doctor nodding off. It's... a diagram of the study? Mr. Attishan Wimperson allegedly viewed the murder from here. And the doctor was allegedly nodding off here. But from his vantage point, the bookcase would have blocked the witness's line of sight. Why, yes, I believe you're right. But... Arg!
Objection!
The fact remains, my client knew the suitcase was the murder weapon. So he definitely had first-hand knowledge of the crime scene. I'm afraid I have to agree with you there, Mr. Wright. But then we have to ask ourselves, from what vantage point did he see the murder? What are you insinuating, Mr. Justice? From what vantage point could Mr. Attishan Wimperson have seen the dozing doctor? Once we determine that, I believe we'll finally see the truth behind this incident. The witness saw the murder from right here. Okay. It says inside the study. I guess, here. Present the part of the hallway above the study.
Take that!
You've got to be kidding. But that's... It is indeed. But everything only makes sense if the witness was there in the study. Inside the study? But that's the scene of the crime. I know. Mr. Attishan Wimperson, the man who claims to be a witness to the murder, was most certainly in that very room. Apollo, are you suggesting? Mr. Attishan Wimperton, weren't you the one who actually swung that suitcase? Because your client is the murderer. Yep. Your client is the murderer. Gah! What you're proposing is ludicrous. My client is a small, thin man, whereas Mr. Arrebel has the musculature to pull it off. He has a point. I gave up trying to lift that thing after one go. That's right. He's the only one who could have lifted such a heavy object. Now do you understand? The rebel, Dad's Arrebel, is the doctor's killer. As long as the suitcase is the murder weapon, the suspicion falls entirely on Dats. I have to poke a hole in Mr. Wright's argument somehow, Apollo. Oh, I will, and with his own technique, no less. If Mr. Attishan Wimperson couldn't swing the suitcase around, we'll just have to consider another way he could have used it as the murder weapon instead. I'm going to turn this case on its head, Mr. Wright, just like you taught me. You talk big, Mr. Justice, but do you have what it takes? Well, this should be interesting. Mr. Attishan Wimperson's testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. First he stated that Dr. Buff was in front of the bookshelves. Now he claims that the doctor was sitting at his desk. So where was the victim really when he was killed? Also, where was his killer and how was the murder weapon really used? So the important thing here is the position of the victim and killer relative to each other? Yes, Your Honor. If they were positioned in a certain way, it would be possible to use the suitcase as a weapon without lifting a finger. You can't mean... I would ask the court to recall the study's layout. It's quite distinctive, as you can see. Now, if Dr. Buff was sitting in a certain spot and his killer was at a certain other spot, the suitcase would become a weapon anyone could use. Very good, Mr. Justice. Where was Dr. Buff's killer at the time of the crime? So I guess, this is where we do it.
Take that!
There? Oh, that's... This should wrap things up nicely and pretty for you, Mr. Wright. Give me a second. Okay. I would ask the court to recall the study's layout, but this time, instead of thinking in 2 dimensions, let's think in 3. Only then can we clearly see the killer's method at work. Whoa. The killer didn't have to swing the suitcase. If he used gravity to his advantage, that is. That's right. It was the plaintiff, one politician Wimperson, who used the suitcase. He pushed it from the 2nd floor. Bonk! And sent it hurling down onto Dr. Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. Yard! The psychologically book has been at the coffee bar, no doubt. The psychology bar. The doctor must have set it down there or after he'd finished reading it or the like. But his blood got on it, which is why the killer thought to hide it in the mountain of books.
Objection!
That's quite an entertaining theory you have there, Mr. Justice. But there's no evidence that the murder took place at the coffee bar. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Wright. I'd say the evidence of the murder occurring at the coffee bar exists. The evidence does exist, and I'm going to show you. You are? This right here is proof that the murder took place at the coffee bar. It's, the wee little, coffee stain. Don't you see it?
Take that!
This brown stain was determined to be coffee. Once more, it was still a bit damp when we saw it yesterday morning. Ah! One look at this book speaks volumes, I'm afraid, Mr. Wright. It tells us the doctor was having a cup of coffee at the coffee bar. That's when the suitcase came hurtling down, striking him on the head, causing both his blood and the coffee to splatter onto it. Ack! Ag! Well, Mr. Actician Wimperson? Whoa. What motive could I have possibly to have to kill but Dr. Buff? And there it is, the final excuse cornered killers are so fond of. Well, the doctor never returned your crystal to you, did he? Instead, he hid it in the cave ruins. Nah. Telling him that the Defiant Dragons were a dangerous bunch was a huge blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Even worse, the doctor saw the news report, so he knew the relic was the Founder's orb. And all of us began to think simultaneously that this is too easy. Yep. Little bit too easy. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. And that meant keeping it out of your hands. You were so angry that he refused to return the relic to you. That you killed him with your own hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Actician Wimperson? Arg! That is...
Hold it!
Well. And another for the wimp. And another for the wimp. Apollo, don't. Please don't accuse my client of murder. Huh? What do you mean, don't accuse him? Why would you even say that, Mr. Wright? What I meant was, he's a promising politician with a bright future ahead of him. It's in our nation's best interest to avoid burdening him with the taint of scandal. Say what? Right, you'd better do something to change the current courtroom climate, or I'll be charged with murder. And you know what will happen to her if that happens. Arg! What's he talking about? Well, I can't ponder that later. For now, Mr. Wright, you can't possibly believe that Mr. R. Rebel is the killer. Uh-oh? Might be an uh-oh. And are you really going to send an innocent man to prison? I thought you were better than that. Well, Mr. Wright, answer me.
Oh!
Mr. Wright? What in the world's going on here? If you won't say anything, then... Mr. Attition Whipperson, the defense hereby accuses you of... Apollo, wait! Not you too, Athena. It's just, I wasn't sure whether I should say anything, but... During that last recess, when I went to check on Mr. Wright, I overheard something I shouldn't have. I trust Maya is unharmed. I can't really say, but just remember, if I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Consequences of the worst kind, if you catch my drift. Relax. All you have to do is ensure I get my hands on that relic. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs.
What do you want that relic for anyway?
It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power said to be granted to whoever solves its secret.
How did you know it was about Maya? Maya's kidnapped again?
Maya, as in Maya Fey? Yes, the boss's legendary former assistant. Miss Fey's being held hostage? So it seems. Why didn't you tell me as soon as you heard this? Sorry, it's just Mr. Wright spotted me before I could slip away, and made me promise not to tell you. He said it would make things more difficult if you found out.
Arg, as if things weren't already hard enough.
So that's why Mr. Wright was acting so strange. I had no idea. This must have been excruciating for him. Think, Justice. There's got to be something you can do. Mr. Justice, about that last statement of yours, I believe you were in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. Would you care to continue?
I'm sorry, Apollo. I'm really, really sorry. What's gotten into you two?
If I accuse that slime bag, I put Miss Fey's life in jeopardy. It seems you finally caught on. I'm far too important to be accused of murder. After all, our nation's future rests squarely on my shoulders.
Either I give up or...
Once I present the crystal to my patron, my victory is assured. Then one day I'll become president, and then king. I'll have every politician at my command. Now retract your accusation.
Arg, I can't kowtow to him, but
the defense would like to retract the previous accusation.
What? Oh, Apollo?
Dirk?
I don't know what's going on here, but a lawyer should never look the way you do right now, with defeat and resignation written all over your face.
I didn't like him to begin with, but his Kill This Man rating is climbing very high. Yeah, I had a feeling you would say that.
A dragon never yields.
Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey to the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get the truth.
Dirk, a dragon never yields. He's right. It's all over if I give up now. If Mr. Wright's hands are tied, it's up to me to do what must be done. He saved my neck so many times. Now, it's my turn to save his.
Dirk, thanks for that wake-up call. Heh, now that's the face of a lawyer you've got there. Son, where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm going to find the way to save Miss Fey and see that justice is served. How are we gonna do that?
By going into this mode!
That scumbag is holding Miss Fey hostage to ensure he gets the orb for his patron, and it seems that patron believes in the orb's legend. Thing is, the founder did appear when the orb was exposed to fire, just as the legend says.
If the legend is true, then we've already solved the riddle, right? No.
We have not solved the riddle yet.
The legend says that the founder will bestow great spiritual power when she returns, but if that's true, it means we haven't solved the whole riddle yet. But how can that be? Are we missing something? Wait, maybe the part about the founder returning should be taken literally. But how would it be possible for the dead person to return to the world of the living? Cloning. We got a clone. Oh, time travel. We need a time travel. No, it's this.
The founder can return through channeling.
Oh, I know. There is a way for the dead to return. Spirit channeling. Of course, you'd have to know what the founder looks like first. But the orb has revealed her face to us, so what if it's just a sign that we should channel her? Given the facts, in order to solve the riddle and receive the Founder's power, we need to practice channeling.
A medium is needed to obtain the power.
The ability of a medium to channel spirits is the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. That means Mr. Attition Whipperson's patron will need one too, and once that slimy politician realizes that, he won't be able to lay a finger on Miss Fay. Everything's going to be okay, Mr. Wright, because Mr. Paul Attition Whipperson can't afford to harm a hair on Miss Fay's head. Huh? Mr. Attition Whipperson, it seems you've chosen the wrong person to take hostage. What do you mean? Your patron seeks to solve the orb's riddle, and thereby receive great spiritual power. However, only Maya Fey can truly give them what they really want. She can? What do you mean, only Maya Fey? Think about what the return of the founder really means. We should have considered it more literally. After all, the orb was made in the kingdom of Karatin, the birthplace of spirit mediums. Ah, I think I see now. You need to know what the deceased looks like in order to channel them. But in Karatinism, depicting the face of the founder is taboo. However, her true face was hidden in the orb. So maybe the orb is telling us to try channeling the founder. Exactly. Through the spirit of spirit medium, the founder can quite literally return. And if the legend is true, the founder just might bestow spiritual power on someone when she does. It's like when Pearls imbued my Megatama with spiritual power. If a human could be imbued with such power in a similar manner, it is said the founder possesses immense spiritual power. Such a great feat would not necessarily be beyond her. Well, wait a second, then the legend is true? Do you understand now, Mr. Attition Whimperson? You are holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. And if anything were to happen to her, the riddle would remain unsolved forever. Ah! There's always Pearl Fay. I could simply ask her to help. If she wants money, I have plenty to offer. She's not the kind of person to be tempted by material gain, and she certainly wouldn't help you if anything were to happen to her cousin. Or maybe you'd like to go ask the Queen of Karatin to channel the founder for you. He could, but he'd probably get executed for requesting such a thing. It's over. Now confess, you killed Dr. Buff, didn't you? It wasn't supposed to end this way. Mr. Attition Whimperson, are you admitting to committing the crime? You're my lawyer, right? Do something! It's true that I'm your lawyer, and as such, it's my job to defend you. However, defending my client isn't the only duty a lawyer has. There's something else that's equally as important. And that is finding the truth. What? Mr. Attition Whimperson, you have sought to twist the truth in the dirtiest of ways. I was complicit in your hostage-taking, but in a way, I was being held hostage too. Even so, there's still hope for me to make things right. And I owe it all to you, Apollo. Mr. Wright, I can't allow a murderer to walk away scot-free. Therefore, Mr. Addison Wimperson, I must resign as your attorney. No, 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 no! Does this mean I'm under arrest? No! Well, I've nothing to confess. What? I said I've nothing to confess. I don't and won't, especially not to a plebeian like you. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Besides, there's no truth to these allegations. I mean, look at the suitcase. You won't find a single print of mine on it. All that means is you wipe them off, taking care to only leave Mr. Rebels. As many a great politician has said before me, no comment. In that case, try switching things up, Apollo. Look at the situation from a different angle. Is there really nothing that points to the suitcase being dropped from up above? Evidence that points to the suitcase being dropped from the second floor. If the killer pushed the suitcase from the second floor hallway over the coffee bar, then that would place him right about here, around here. Maybe, just maybe. Thought of something, Apollo? I believe this piece of evidence to be connected to the dropping of the suitcase. It's a certain statement.
Take that!
That appears to be a statement, but how is that related to this case? On the night of the murder, Your Honor, Miss Army Buff physically left her room. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and subsequently passed out, right above the coffee bar. But with her there in her wheelchair, the killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase down onto the floor. Good point. However, according to Sarge, she woke up just as someone was trying to move her in her wheelchair. Someone was pushing my wheelchair. What? I was so scared I beat a hasty retreat as fast as my wheels could take me. She must have been in the killer's way and had to be moved. Isn't that right, Mr. Addison Wimperson? Arg! And if the killer had pushed the wheelchair with his bare hands, we may yet find the conclusive evidence we need. Exactly. Fortunately for us, that evidence slipped right into the killer's fingers, right through. If only he'd been able to hold on to it just a little tighter. But now he is neither able to discard nor alter it. Honestly, that piece of evidence wasn't even supposed to be here in this courtroom today. And yet, it looks like sometimes things do get better. But this wasn't supposed to happen. No? Well, too bad, because the evidence that sped away from you last night had come back to haunt you, right here at this very trial. Arg! Wah! Your Honor, the defense's final piece of evidence is on this person. Pearl Fate. No, Army Buff.
Take that!
That's... On the night of the murder, Sarge passed out, only to come to and find that someone was pushing her wheelchair. That's when she fled back into her room. She didn't physically see a single soul after that. Not until Athena drew her out through that therapy session, that is. While the killer was able to wipe the prints off on the suitcase off, the same can't be said for the prints that got away. My fellow Karanians. Well, Mr. Politician Wimperson, try to explain your way out of this one. The podium is all yours. Politician, savior of Karain. I am not a crook. My political career is canon like this. I'm destined for great things. Something's wrong. This isn't real. It's a dream, no, a nightmare. Oh. Huh? What? Wait, really? Winner. Whoa, no way! Wait, what? No, please. Wait, don't go. No, no, please, whoa! Grandpa! That was satisfying. Mr. Attition Wimperson, are you alright? But Bailiff, get him to the first aid station on the double. Well, this was yet another unexpected turn of events. In light of everything that's been revealed, it seems the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. And it seems Mr. Paul Attition Wimperson can be considered the suspect in Dr. Buff's murder. Apollo, I want to thank you for everything. Thanks to you, I didn't have to keep bending the truth. I don't know what I would have done without you. Don't mention it. You were amazing today, Apollo. Well, I couldn't have done it without Dirk.
A dragon never yields.
Cool. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get the truth. A dragon never yields. Every lawyer should take that to heart. As it seems both sides have no further objections, would Dirk Sadamati please take the stand? This court awards the orb to the Defiant Dragons per the stated transfer agreement.
Yay! Also not guilty! Yay!
Should the Kingdom of Karain claim ownership, the matter may have to be deliberated in court all over again. I just hope, or shall I say pray, that I am not the judge presiding over that one. Ha 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 ha. Indeed, a trial like that might spark an international incident. Still, there are bigger and more momentous things astir in the air. The revolution. Dirk's really serious about this. This court is adjourned.
So where is Paul Attition Wimperson on the Kill This Man list? Where is his final slot? Whew.
Nice work, son. We finally broken through the last obstacle on the road to revolution.
Revolution? It just doesn't seem real.
Yes, well, to think you actually defeated the Fighting Phoenix. All I can say is, that's my boy. Ha 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 ha.
I'd put him below Engard, but higher than the Phantom.
Yeah. He's a wimp. Let's just say that. He's a wimp. One more for the wimp.
Well, Mr. Wright did have his hands tied. Who knows if I'd have won if he'd been able to fight me head on. I see it more like you saved Mr. Wright.
Saved him?
Yeah, remember what he said? He didn't have to bend the truth anymore, and it was all thanks to you. I don't know about that. Still, I guess it is kind of nice to be appreciated. Mr. Dirk, now that the Holy Mother's face has been revealed, are you going to have a spirit medium try channeling her? I, for one, would love to see the return of the legendary founder. Yeah, just think about it. Being able to speak to someone right out of the history books.
Unfortunately, it's not that easy.
What? Why?
A face isn't enough. You also need the true name of the one you're attempting to channel.
Oh, right. Pearl mentioned something like that.
And the founder's true name is only known as to the priestess who's been crowned queen. In short, it's the only living person who knows it is the current queen of Karain, Garan.
Oh, so without her help, we won't be seeing the founder anytime soon. Tisk, that's no fun.
Excuse me.
My god. So, Dirk, what will you do now?
First, I'll start by tracing the route by which the orb came into Dr. Buff's hands.
Since we now know it was Paul Attition that's asked the doctor to study it, isn't he the one who stole it?
No, a political nobody like him couldn't get anywhere near the orb, let alone steal it. He must have had inside help. My money is on someone connected to the royal family.
Oh, right. You said something to that effect back in the cave.
Whoever it is, whoever it may be, we need to expose their dirty scheme to the light of day.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Wright has plenty of information, courtesy of his dirty client. He might be able to shed some light on this.
Private Justice! That was fine work you did at the trial today. You did your surgeon proud.
Back at you, Sarge. It took real courage to leave your room like that. It's all thanks to you and Corpse Woman Sykes. With my siege defense over, I can finally sally forth.
But the battle's only just begun. One fight for me and me alone to fight.
To lose your mother and then your father, what a terrible thing to endure. Yeah, and being wheelchair-bound doesn't help. Private Justice, I've been thinking. It's about time I stood on my own 2 feet. After all, I no longer have Papa to coddle me. Huh? I'm afraid I don't follow. Take a good look, soldier. This is one small step for man, and one giant leap for me. Oh, my Joan for me, would you, Private Justice?
Yes, sir.
What is she up to? What? Wow. Yay! She's standing?
What's this? Sarge, you mean your legs?
They're... The doctor told me I was ready to walk again months ago, but if I admitted I could walk, I knew I'd have to leave the house. So I faked it. Makes sense, but I kept pretending I couldn't walk. But I know Papa is watching over me now, and I'd hate to disappoint him. So, from this day forth, I'm going to march forward on my own 2 feet. What a brave kid, trying to move forward like this. But it must be so hard for this soon after her father's death.
Don't you ever stop. You just keep on walking, comrade. Stay brave, because there will be days when you'll want to stop. But I have faith you'll find a way to muster the strength to push through them.
Yeah, you can do it. Hey, Daddy's back. Mr. Wright, what's that look on his face for? Oh, Apollo. Is everything alright with Miss Faye? She's safe, for now. Well, then we'd better go save her, quick. Where is she anyway?
I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Huh?
Maya's not here in the States. She's still in Karatin, and she's still being held hostage by the mastermind behind this whole thing.
The mastermind?
That's right. Paul Attition Wimperson was nothing more than a pawn. Maya's true abductor is in the kingdom of Karatin.
What? I don't understand, Mr. Wright. What in the world's going on over there?
Oh dear. Oh boy. But as shocking as that news was, it was only the beginning. The beginning of something big. Big enough to shake Karatin to its very core. Revolution. I was being swept up in a mighty wave that nothing could stop. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what the days ahead had in store for us.
Yep, that trial was only a warm-up act, guys.
The real case fight begins now.
And here we go. And we're still here. Gosh darn it. What do you mean Miss Faye is still being held hostage? And who's this mastermind?
Paul Attition Wimperson was nothing more than a puppet. His benefactor was the one pulling the strings, but I have no idea who they are.
So all we know is it's the person he's trying to give the orb to?
Right. He was just following orders. Whoever it is, it seems they really want to get their hands on the orb.
So then, Miss Faye's abduction is the work of this so-called benefactor too?
Right again. Whoever they are, they're in Karatin, along with Maya.
I wonder who they could be.
Right. This Maya, the spirit medium you've been talking about. She wouldn't happen to be that bun-haired young lady you defended back in Karatin.
That's her? Why do you ask?
I see. I think I know what's going on here. I've got good news for you, Wright. Maya is somewhere safe. That much I'm sure of.
I'm afraid you've lost me.
So that's who the little snot's patron is. It's all starting to make sense. That fool had no idea I'm here in the States with you all.
Dirk, you mind filling us in?
No caller ID.
I wonder who's calling. Hello?
Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Yes, let me start by thanking you for taking such good care of my subordinate.
Who is this?
I believe you know me as Mr. Attishan's benefactor.
Ah! Sounds like they're using a voice changer or something to disguise themselves. Where's Maya? Is she safe?
I had my ears on today's proceedings. What a shock it was to hear that the key to solving the orb's riddle is a spirit medium. I admit I did not see that coming.
Wait, did they plant a listening device in here somehow?
Nevertheless, don't think for a minute that it will guarantee Maya Faye's safety. She is not the only medium within my reach, you see.
You harm a hair on Maya's head and you'll have to answer to me.
Right, give it here a sec.
Wait.
Hey there, how's it going, stranger? Who is this? Why, it's your friendly neighborhood dragon. I just happened to be in the US on a little trip. Minister of Justice, Inga Karakol Karatin.
Inga? What? Maya's kidnapper? Is Karatin's Minister of Justice?
Oh, what a shock, guys.
Guess you'll have to go on the kill this man list too, huh?
Dirk? Is that you dirty sterncoat? What in blazes is going on here?
Oh, you know? Just popped over the States for a little R&R. He already was.
Yep. But enough about me, Inga. That was a poor excuse for a bluff you pulled just now. We both know you threats are as empty as your head. You can't lay a hand on Maya Fey, and I do mean that literally.
What is he talking about?
You can kiss your chances of getting the orb goodbye. Maya Fey ain't my only, how should I say, insurance, you know, Dirk. What? I've got someone dear to you right in the palm of my hand, see? Now that one, well, you can imagine what kind of things I could do, right? Heh, glad you're seeing things my way. Meet me at Amara's tomb tomorrow, 3 p.m. sharp, and you better come alone, got it? If all goes well, that orb is all you'll need to get Maya Fey back.
Dirk, what's going on?
You heard him. I have to get back to Karatin at once.
What? Why?
No time to explain.
But are you even going to make it? What if there are no seats left on the next flight? Plus, you're a wanted man. They're not going to just let you go get on a plane.
Let me worry about that, Mr. Justice.
Edgeworth! Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth? What are you doing here?
Taking care of the hostage situation.
Oh, now that you mention it, Pearl did say that she saw you around the Karain village. I had him look into a few things while I was on my way back from Karatin, including Maya's situation, of course. He's back!
Where does Edgeworth go on the "this guy is awesome" list? I was astonished to hear she was in Karatin earlier, but it explained why I found no connection between her and Mr. Attishan.
Sorry to interrupt, but going back to the plane situation, I've taken the liberty of chartering one for us. It's ready to take off at any time, and I will do what's necessary to hide the fact that Dirk Sadmati is on board. Wow, must be nice to be Chief Prosecutor.
Right, we have no time to lose. We must head for Karatin at once.
Right. I'm going too. After all, you're bound to need my help. No fair, I want to go too.
This isn't a vacation, Trucy. Besides, I'll need you to hold down the fort.
But Daddy! Guess I should also bring what's necessary. Sorry, Trucy. Would you mind holding on to this stuff for me? Just below Mr. Wright. Edgeworth is a gentleman, a scholar, and a worthy opponent.
He is.
Fine, but you'd better bring me back something besides just more evidence.
Excellent. Now, let us make haste to Karatin.
And that's how our sudden trip to the kingdom of Karatin began. I never imagined I'd return to the to the country of my youth under such circumstances, though. We're going to Karatin, guys! Woo! Vacay! And we're back. Let me get back into my chat room because I don't need the guide for a while. That was a long flight. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Talk about cutting it close. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Just below Mr. Hat, rather. Just below Mr. Hat. Talk about cutting it close. The Kingdom of Karatin. This is no time to reminisce, but I gotta say this place sure brings back memories. Hurry up, Apollo. Right behind you. Amara's tomb is located in the courtyard of Garan Palace. You should have just enough time to get there. Then let's sprint there. Think you can keep up, Apollo? Sure, no sweat. I'll contact the royal family and the local police and inform them of our arrival. Thanks, Edgeworth. Welp, your friends went to Karatin and all you got was this unnecessary evidence? Yep, poor Trucy. Ooh, the courtyard, everyone. Wow. Huff, puff, huff, puff. I wasn't made for all the running and climbing and near drowning I've done this week. It's 2:45, only 15 minutes left. See that cylindrical building rising in the distance? That's Amara's tomb. Amara? Wasn't that the previous queen? The one who was assassinated? Yes, and I'm the one they pinned it on. It will take a few minutes to get to the tomb from here. So, you have returned, Barbed Head. I've seen her before on the news. If I remember correctly, this is the Crown Princess Rayfa Padma Karatin. What are you people doing here? This is the royal residence. Commoners are not allowed entry without permission. A prosecutor from the States should have already called and requested permission for us to enter. As to why we're here, your benevolence, have you seen Minister Inga? If you seek my father, I just saw him heading toward Amara's tomb. Was he with anyone? You know, like some shady-looking underlings or something? No, he was alone. Why do you ask? Looks like she has no idea about Miss Faye's abduction. You hear that? I think we have company. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Bow down before her glory. Her Eminence Queen Garan, Grand Priestess of Karatin, approaches. Pretty. This is a pretty place. Huh? Garan? Ooh, the Queen. It's... Queen Garan. Guards. Surround Amara's tomb at once. Yes, Your Eminence. Uh-oh. What's she doing? Is she going to help us? Excuse me, Your Eminence. So, our Barbed Head lawyer returns. May we presume you are here for Maya Fey, the spirit medium who has been abducted? Yes, you may. Allow us to apologize for the criminal actions of our husband. Oh, no need to apologize for him. Approaches! Honestly, Inga, abducting a guest in our country, how could you? Father, abducted someone? Your Eminence, what about those soldiers over there? They are the Garan's Royal Guard, soldiers who serve the crown and no other. Royal Guard? They are an elite force selected from only the most loyal and outstanding of our subjects. And why have you ordered them to surround the tomb? The police will not come. The police will not come if it is my husband who is committing the crime. We shall have to storm the tomb and take Minister Inga into custody ourselves. What? You mean... Garan, no. His hostage is in there. Dirk, how dare you set foot in the palace? have you come to turn yourself in? Listen, we need to call a truce for now. Garan Royal Guard, seize this traitor of the crown.
As you wish, Your Eminence. Ready, resist, and you die.
Wait a second.
Oh.
Slow down there, Garan. I'm here to conduct a hostage exchange. But if you take me in now, my Athay is as good as dead. A hostage exchange? And why would he choose to do such a thing with you? We can talk about that later. Right now, I need to get in there before it's too late. If I can't resolve this in 20 minutes, you can storm the place. Now then, if you'll excuse me... Dirk, wait! Guards, allow the insurgent Dirk Sadmati to pass. Barbed Head, you have some explaining to do. Right. Well, while we're waiting here, Apollo, why don't you explain the situation?
What? Me?
Leave nothing out, Hornhead, or I'll dehorn you where you stand. Hornhead? She doesn't waste any time coming up with nicknames. And what's with the attitude? Her father's the one who abducted Miss Fay. Hostage. Do my ears deceive me, or did I hear talk of my father abducting someone? Oh, you heard right. He abducted Maya Fay and... Insolent fool! But pardon my rudeness. A gentle soul such as my father could not have possibly committed such a crime. Does she know her father? Gentle? You think he's gentle? I'm afraid it's true, Your Benevolence. He's holed up in that tomb as we speak. You need sleep. Good night, stars over Hyrule. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you very, very soon. Fare thee well, my friend. Good night. Really, I find this difficult to believe. Why would he do such a thing? 'Cause he's a jerkface. Your Benevolence, you saw your father heading toward the tomb? I did. I was over on that veranda, deep in thought, when I saw him hurrying toward the tomb. I'd say it was about 10 minutes ago. Why was he rushing? Maybe he was worried he'd be late? Did you see anyone else heading for the tomb? I saw no one else after he entered, so Minister Inga and Miss Fay are the only ones in there besides Dirk. Who knows, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had a minion or two with him. Dirk, I sure hope he's alright. It's only been 5 minutes. Arg, it feels like an eternity. Patience, Apollo, patience. She's an abused child. She's in denial about a lot of things. She knows how bad he can be. She just has always been told he's a man worthy of respect. Yeah, poor girl. It's been almost 20 minutes. What's taking Dirk so long? The appointed time has come. Our royal guard shall now storm in. Can't you wait just a little longer? No, we cannot. Every second we wait puts the hostage's life in even more danger. Therefore, we see no alternative but to order our guards to storm in. But that'll put Miss Fay's life in danger too. Guards, storm the tomb and seize Minister Inga, along with the insurgent Dirk Sadmati.
Yes, Your Eminence.
What? Dirk's under arrest too? Naturally, that traitorous snake assassinated my predecessor, Queen Amara. Now go, seize them both.
Rah! We're going in! Follow me, men! For Her Eminence, Erdi Ara Garaten!
I hope no one gets hurt.
Your Eminence!
What the? Why are they running back out? What is the meaning of this? Something terrible has happened. Dirk, the minister, he's dead. What's this? What? Apollo, quick. I'm right behind you. No one enters without our... Come, let us see what has transpired. Yes, Your Eminence. Uh-oh. What? Where's Dirk? Apollo, over there. Uh-oh. Dirk? Dirk! What? What have you done? Apollo? Look! So it is Minister Inga who has fallen. Guards, seize the murderous man at once. Yes, Your Eminence, surrender now or perish, rebel scum. No, wait. Arg! Well, that goes a little bit against your guesses for this case, huh, Captain Chips? Dirk, they're taking him away. Thud. Ow! Dirk just threw something at me. Wait, this is the... Is he telling me to keep it safe? Not really. Nick, is that you? Maya, are you alright? Dirk, he saved me. I feel exhausted. I can't keep my eyes open. I said Dirk would be the defendant. Did you expect Inga to be the dead person, though? Maya! And now the question is, who done did it? Minister Inga, the man behind Miss Faye's abduction, had been killed, and Dirk was arrested for his murder. So it was that the abduction of Maya Faye came to a sudden and unexpected resolution. With this, the curtain fell on the minister, but things were far from over. Yeah, I'd say so. Me? Oh, it's you again? Man! Angel Love, knock it off. Stop killing people in my games. Unbelievable. If you're honest, you thought Inga would have been the actual killer. Now the question is, who is the actual killer? Apollo, what happened? I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell, it seems Dirk has killed Minister Inga. What? You think he did it to save Miss Faye? Most likely, but who knows? I'm really confused right now. My father, this cannot be. I must see for myself. Your benevolence, we cannot allow you to pass. Fools, stand aside. Forgive us, but we have direct orders from Her Eminence, Queen Garan. Father, oh father. Dirk, you will pay for this. Apollo, let's go regroup somewhere. Yeah. Dirk, it wasn't really you that did it, right? Temple. Are you okay, Apollo? Yeah. Edgeworth's speaking with the local police, so let's sit tight until he returns. Okay. I know you must be in a state of shock right now, but I need you to stay with us, Apollo. He's right. I can't go to pieces now. Thanks, Mr. Wright. I'll be fine. May 18th. What's today, guys? What's today's date? Right, Mr. Justice. I'm afraid I have some bad news. It looks like things will only get more complicated from here. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what's happening with Dirk? As I understand it, he has been officially charged with the murder of Minister Inga. 16th? Ah, gotcha. Not the 18th yet, but soon. He has? However, I did manage to get us permission to investigate the crime scene, and I expect we will be allowed to visit Mr. Sadmati shortly. Thank you. I'm sure glad Prosecutor Edgeworth is here with us. Also, it just so happens that Detective Sky is here in Karatin, so I have asked her to assist us with our investigation. What? What's she doing here? It seems Prosecutor Sadmati has grown quite fond of her. He's been ferrying her around all over the place, a few days here, a few days there. They've almost become a team of sorts. Despite what Nayuta says, it seems he thinks highly of Emma's skills. So what now, Apollo? I think I'll go pay Dirk a visit at the detention center. I want to go check in on Maya at the hospital. What about you, Athena? Well, if there's footwork to be done, I'd better stick with Apollo and give him a hand. Very well, then I will accompany Wright. Okay, we'll go our separate ways for now. Alright, if anything comes up, you have my cell number. Do you know your way around here, Apollo? It's been over 10 years since I left, but I'll try not to get us hopelessly lost. Where's the everything, guys?
Apollo, here to see your old man, are you?
Dirk, are they done interrogating you?
Nope, the fun hasn't even started. I imagine they'll really rake me over the coals, though.
I don't even want to think about how harsh their interrogation method will be. Yeah, but that's nothing compared to what they'll do if they find him guilty.
They branded me a terrorist who killed the previous queen, now the Justice Minister. If found guilty of these crimes, I'll be facing a very public execution.
But public execution? This is worse than I thought.
Come on, son, turn that frown upside down. You'll jinx us. As soon as I get out of here, I'll take you to this tasty hash house I know.
I like that. I really need to focus on what happened. Time to switch to work mode. Dirk, can you tell us what happened? Oh, and there's also something I want you to take a look at. This.
I see you got it safely out of the tomb.
Why did you throw it at me like that?
I want you to listen carefully, son. The orb must not fall into Garan's hands. Not ever.
I thought Minister Inga was the one who was after it. He was the one who lent it to Professor Buff to study, after all. So haven't you exposed his crime now?
I have, but there's more connected to this relic than meets the eye. Much more. And whatever it is, I can't help but feeling that it could turn this entire kingdom upside down.
You said something like that before. Looks like Dirk's intuition is at it again.
Garan will do anything to retrieve this. So guard it well, son, at least until tomorrow's trial.
What about this?
That's the only remaining photo of your father. Take good care of it.
I will. I'm just surprised to see it after all these years.
I had a tough time tracking it down and retrieving it. It was taken by some European tourists who just happened to be watching your father. I had one of my men go to Europe to look them up and ask whether we could have it.
You went through all that trouble?
I did, so don't go losing it or anything.
I said I'd take good care of it, didn't I? Okay. Dirk, what happened in there? You didn't really kill Minister Inga, did you?
Well, the thing is, I really don't know.
Huh?
I remember seeing the mural of the founder right as I entered the tomb, but I got all dizzy immediately after that. The next thing I knew, I was standing there with a bloody knife in my hand, and covered in Inga's blood.
So you don't remember meeting with him?
No, the last thing I remember after entering the tomb is feeling really dizzy.
There's no way he can explain what happened if he can't remember anything. Yeah. I suppose there's no getting out of this one. But we can't give up yet. Ha 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 ha.
I was just messing with you, son.
Well, stop. It's not funny.
Sorry.
Sheesh, nothing seems to faze him, not even being arrested for murder.
This is going to be one tough case, Apollo. Not only have I been charged with Inga's murder, but I've also been charged with Amara's assassination from 23 years ago.
You're on trial for 2 charges?
Garan is practically licking her chops just thinking about my public execution. Guess it means we can't afford to lose our heads now, huh?
Ha 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 ha. I don't know how you can laugh at a time like this.
So, son, I take it you'll be defending me at my trial?
Of course. You can count on me.
That's my boy. Looks like your nerves are as stealing as those vocal cords of yours. After all, you've got the Defense Culpability Act to contend with, too.
Oh, right. So if you're found guilty, then I'll be charged with the same double homicide, huh?
Don't tell me you forgot about that.
I'll be fine. I just have to make sure we win this one.
You sure? Because you don't sound very fine.
Apollo? What was that about an assassination 23 years ago?
Yeah.
About that incident 23 years ago. That was when the previous queen, Amara, was assassinated, wasn't it?
Yes, someone set her private residence on fire. She lost her life in the ensuing blaze.
And you were arrested for the crime? Why would they arrest you, Mr. Sadmati? Weren't you just a lawyer back then? What relation could you have with the queen?
About that. Amara was, well, she was my wife. I may not look the part, but I was once husband to a queen. In short, I was royalty.
What? No way! Are you saying you won the heart of the reigning queen? Ha 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 ha.
Come on, you're talking to a guy who honed his prowess against witnesses on the stand.
Good night, Mafia babe. I'll see you tomorrow. Sleep well.
Even a queen is no match for this dragon's glare.
Wow, you're really something else.
So was a verdict ever reached, Dirk? I acted on my own as my own attorney and won, until I was accused of fabricating evidence, that then all went south.
Now, where have I heard a story like that before? What happened after that?
I made a run for it.
You ran? But why?
I didn't kill Amara, and I didn't fabricate any evidence, but if I had stuck around for a retrial, I'd have been found guilty for sure. I couldn't allow that to happen. Amara's true killer would never face justice if I did. So I left my law practice behind and went underground.
But that was 23 years ago. Are you telling me that after all these years, you still haven't discovered the truth?
Yeah, the fact that it was an arson means that the crime scene was reduced to ashes. There's little in the way of evidence left. It's just been brick wall after brick wall.
I guess that means it's all up to me to figure it out, huh? Along with Minister Inga's murder, of course. I think I'm going to be sick.
Come on, son, don't look so down. With you on the case, it'll work out somehow.
I hope he's right.
Say, son, do you remember my office?
Sure,
I remember that messy, dimly lit room. The file I've amassed on Amara's assassination is kept there. I think it might help you on this case. Do you remember how to get there?
Let me think. I recall going through a manhole. How can I not, Dirk?
I hated how I always got so dirty getting there. And that stench. That old case is important too, but I should probably focus on the minister's murder first.
I'm afraid your time is up.
Oh,
Nayuta! It's time for the prisoner's interrogation.
So be gone, you putrid-headed criminal abetting lawyer.
Wait, don't tell me you're the prosecuting attorney. What? But that would mean...
Is there a problem here?
You bet there is. He's your father.
And your point is?
My relation to the accused is irrelevant. The fact that remains, I am a prosecutor. No, that's not what I don't think I'm getting through to him.
Nayuta, long time no see, son. How have you been? Look, I hear you've been serving Garan, rather faithfully in fact. Whatever happened to our dream of taking her down and changing this country, son? The past is the past. What do you mean? Why are you doing this?
It's simple. People change. The Nayuta you knew exists no more.
Listen, son, I don't know what made you change like this, but you're still my boy, even if you prosecute my case. The rest of the Defiant Dragons and I eagerly await your return. Whenever you're ready, we'll welcome you back with open arms. As I said, I've moved on. Now let us waste no more time, for flowers do not blossom simply from talk of the past.
Nayuta, why do I get the feeling there's something he wants to say but can't?
Guard, move the accused to the interrogation room.
Yes, sir. This way, you rebel scum.
Ow, watch it. Not so rough, will you?
Nayuta, is he seriously going to prosecute his own father? Well, that's trouble, huh? Alright, this is wrong. This is wrong.
I guess we have a crime scene to investigate, huh?
So, this is the tomb of Amara, the previous queen of Karatin. It's really lavish. I guess you could say it's fit for a queen. Is the faceless woman in the Merle over there Amara?
No, that's the Holy Mother.
She's the one who brought spirit channeling to Karatin. Oh, right. The woman in the orb. Oh, it's you two. Getting right down to business, I see. Emma! Hi, Emma. We heard you'd give us a hand if we needed it. Yep, Mr. Edgeworth asked me to help where I could. So, it's been quite a while since you've been back in Karatin, I hear. Yeah, more than 10 years, in fact. Well, you sure didn't waste any time. I mean, you're already mixed up in a murder. You're as big a trouble magnet as Mr. Wright. But please don't say that. My luck's already bad enough as it is. Emma, I hear Prosecutor Sadmardi has requested your services again. Seems to have really taken a liking to you. You mean his Imperial Holiness? I don't mind that he approves of me and my abilities. It's just his people skills need some serious work. But when he manages to smile and compliments my work, it's hard to say no. Plus, working on investigations is by flying back and forth between here and home every few days with no days off. That's been tough, and the lack of sleep has been brutal on my skin. To make matters worse, the defendant in this case is someone I know. I mean, how could this get any worse? Sounds like they've got one complicated prosecutor-detective relationship going on. Chomp, 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 chomp. Alright. The incident. Emma, have you determined the cause of death? Blood loss from a stab wound. A single stab in the back was enough to cause the victim to bleed to death. The esteemed time of death is 3 p.m., which is when Dirk came onto the scene. Okay. Any suspects besides Dirk? No. He, Maya, and the minister were the only ones here. Must be Maya, then. And Maya had been tied up until she was freed by the Queen's Royal Guard. Could someone have been hiding somewhere in there? Not likely. I was told this tomb was searched from top to bottom right after the murder. And during that time, the Royal Guard set up a perimeter to prevent anyone from escaping. In other words, the crime scene was completely sealed off. It would appear so. No way for a third party to escape without being spotted, so... Great, it's another one of those convoluted locked room mysteries. About the victim, Minister Inga. He was the kingdom's Minister of Justice, correct? Yes. Inga Karakul Karatin was the second most powerful figure in Karatin. Plus, he was married to the Queen. Seems strange that someone of his status would abduct someone. Apparently, he only told a few of his loyal subordinates about his plan. That way, there was little chance of the police or even the Queen finding out. What was Inga hoping to gain by getting his hands on the orb? That I don't know, but I'm working on it. I wonder if it really was for what Paul Attition Wimperson said. I must deliver it to my benefactor at all costs. What do they want that relic for anyway? It's something to do with an old legend. My patron seeks the great power that's said to be granted to whoever solves its secret. A great power that is said to be bestowed on whoever solves the orb's secret. In Karatin, only those who can channel spirits are said to fit that rule. Was that why Inga wanted such power? Did he want to be king? So this is the tomb of the previous queen. Yes, Queen Amara was laid to rest here. She lost her life in an arsonist blaze. What a tragic end. I heard this tomb sits on the actual site of her residence before it was burned down. They built it on the same spot so her soul could rest in peace. So this is where the fire happened, huh? Why do you think the Minister Inga was holding Miss Faye captive here? It's the perfect spot if you think about it. It's close to his private quarters, which made it easy to keep an eye on his prisoner. Oh, goodbye, Angel Love. See you tomorrow. I hope you can get your phone charged up. Bye! And so the courtyard is the only open to the royal family, so he had little fear of prying eyes. Plus, the tomb is normally locked, and only the royal family is allowed access. So that's why he picked this place. How long has Miss Faye been held captive? About 6 days. Really? That long? It appears that she was severely weakened by her prolonged confinement. She passed out as soon as she was freed and is now on an IV drip at the hospital. She's been asleep ever since. Poor Miss Faye. Hope she gets better soon. Emma, do you mind if we start looking around? Sure. Already got the okay. Knock yourselves out. Oh, and here. It's a diagram the police drew of the tomb. Thought I'd give you a copy to help your investigation along. Thank you. Kill. Oh, and let me know if you need my forensics expertise. Don't you care keep all the fun to yourselves, you hear? don't need to worry about that. Besides, I hardly classify this as fun. Alright, let the examining commence. What's this? So this is the Mara sarcophagus. Let's take a closer look. Whoa. I can't look at anything else. Hey, these curtains open, Apollo. Whoa. The key. That's one big sarcophagus. They say the mummy of Amara, the former queen, rests inside. A mummy, huh? Rats, it's locked. Hey, don't touch that. You mean we can't search inside it? Not a chance. Besides, it's not something anyone tried opening anyway. What if the real killer's hiding inside? Hey, anyone in there? Don't do that. You're going to get us cursed. Cursed? The queen likely bears a grudge toward the living after such a violent, painful death, so no one dares to touch the sarcophagus for fear of incurring her wrath. Oh no, Apollo. What am I going to do? Don't look at me. In any case, the sarcophagus is temperature controlled. It's kept really cold to preserve the mummy. So even if someone did decide to hide inside it, they would eventually freeze to death. I see. Still, if they bundled up, I bet a person could hide in there for a little while. Is that it? I think that's it here. Okay. Guess we'll examine other things. It looks like the Holy Mother was painted here to watch over Amara's sarcophagus. So it's like this tomb is protected by the founder? That must be so reassuring to those she left behind. Only one problem, she didn't paint the eyes she needed to do said watching. Come to think of it, she doesn't have a mouth to smile down on the tomb with either. It's actually kind of creepy. I wonder if being watched over by something like that gives the queen nightmares. Hey, keep that up and the founder just might come and watch over you too. Oh, scary. Look, one of those statues is broken. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to see from here. Let's check it out when we get a little closer. Like this? Speaking of this... Guess this is where Inga collapsed when he died. Better take a closer look. Oh boy. So this is the murder weapon. Emma, did you find any prints on it? Yep, and they were super clear. They belonged to one Dirk Sadmati. That's not good. Were there any others? There was only one more print from another individual, but it was too smudged to identify. It's probably an old print from someone else who had handled the knife. Oh, yet another piece of unhelpful info to add to our ever-growing pile. Fudge. There's the body. They've already taken the body away. It's kind of sad how familiar I've become with body outlines. I have a photo of the body if you're interested. Oh dear. He was stabbed right in the back. The poor guy was practically skewered. What's he wearing on his arms? Those are the cuffs of justice. Seems to be a tradition here for the Minister of Justice to wear those forearm cuffs. Look like they're made of a thick fabric, so I guess they aren't for protection. Maybe they're for keeping his sleeves out of the way when handling documents. Yeah, that's probably for their original purpose. But over the years, the reason for wearing them was probably forgotten. So now they're just one of many traditional things people will do without knowing why. Oh, I get it. Kind of like the way you roll up your sleeves, huh? Or your psychology if we're going there. Happen to know why I started, thank you very much. We got a cell phone. I wonder if this is Inga's cell phone. It should be. His fingerprints are all over it. Do you know if he talked with anyone recently? There were a few calls logged between him and his underlings. They're all members of the secret police who were directly under the minister's control. You mean like spies? I don't think that's quite it. Okay, what about this gun? So the minister was armed, huh? Mm-hmm. That's a 4-shot pistol. He had it for self-defense, apparently. But it won't be firing anything anytime soon. Huh? He was carrying a broken gun around for show? No, we recovered a bullet here, which means the gun probably broke as the minister fired its last round. Thing is, the gun's chambers are all empty. Yet that one bullet is the only bullet we could find. That is strange. Where'd the other 3 go? Maybe Dirk ate them. We can ask next time we see him. Just be ready for his predictably shocking answer. His answer of, you know, no. Well, that's enough of that. Oh, wait a minute. This is all bloody. Wow, it's covered in blood. With a blood splatter this large, it must have gotten all over the killer, too. Come to think of it, there was blood on Dirk's clothes. The circumstantial evidence points to Dirk being the killer. That's what I'd conclude if I were a cop, too. Why are things always so bleak for me? That's just how it is. That's life. One of the statues is broken. Let's take a closer look. Alright. This thing's more splintered than statue now. A bullet from the victim's gun did a real number on it. Seems like someone you'd get cursed for. Something you'd get cursed for, you know? In Minister Inga's case, I'd say getting your ticket punched is cursed enough. Yeah, but don't curses extend to the afterlife? You need to stop taking what Nayuta says so seriously. Perfectly capable of thinking for myself. What's this? It's a Magatama, I think. Did it come from the broken statue? Look, Apollo, there's another one. But the other statues only have 1 each. Hey, you're right. Maybe the statue was special or something. This one statue was special. Look, there's a bullet here. It's from the pistol the victim was carrying. My guess is he tried to shoot his attacker but missed, and the bullet ended up here. We already determined the rifling mark to be a match to his gun. Rifling marks? Aren't those... Oh ho, shall I explain? The science behind it is absolutely fascinating. No, we're good. Lawyers think they're so smart. Do you realize we can hear you? I see a sparkle. There's something shiny down there. It's a pendant. There's blood on it. I wonder who it belongs to. All we know is it's not the victim's. No one in the royal family recognized it. Emma, did you lift any fingerprints from it? I did, but wasn't able to get a clean one. That's too bad, but the blood turned out to be the victim's. That means it must have fallen here in the course of the murder. It might be Dirk's. I should ask him about it later. Huh. What about the inside? Is this everything? Can't really move it all that well. Oh, now I can. Can I move it this way or that way? I guess we're done here. Alright, what else are we missing, guys? The sarcophagus is surrounded by a curtain. I bet someone hidden behind it. True, but that's one of the many places the royal guard checked after storming in. Wow, they were really thorough. Yes, well, apparently one of their members loves mystery novels. He read into every nook and cranny with an almost frightening amount of gutso. And when he was done, he said, "Very interesting. It's like one of those locked room mysteries." Sounds like he's in the wrong line of work. Oh yeah, this. His fate was apparently tied to this chair. Let's take a closer look. Whoop. We should try to cover every angle possible here. Let's use to change our perspective and take a look around. Rope. I bet you didn't know, but I happen to be a bit of an escape artist myself. Shushi showed me how to do a rope trick, escape trick. Then why would you bother learning something like that? Because we're always getting into trouble when working with cases with Mr. Wright. So I thought it might come in handy someday. Well, I guess you're right about that. Miss Faye could have definitely used that knowledge. That's right, so now you just sit there and we'll get started. What in the world gave you the idea I wanted to learn? Chair. Poor Miss Faye. She must have been tied up to this chair. I can just imagine how much her backside must have hurt after sitting here for so long. Would have been torture for you, I bet. I mean, if you don't know how to sit still, or you don't know, And if by that you mean I like to say active, then I have to agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, wait a minute. There's something over there. Look, there's a bloodstain on one of the chair legs. Really? Hey, you're right. I completely missed that. Let's move the chair so we can check under it. Oh. There's more blood under the chair leg. I wonder what it's doing there. I have some luminol here. Why don't you do some testing around it? Red! Whoa, camera. Whoa, camera. Welcome to the remainder of the stream, guys, where I just try to find the right thing. Oh, there it is. Look! Look! The bloodstain leads all the way to the sarcophagus. Emma, is this Minister Inga's blood? Hold on 1 second. Huh? That's strange. I didn't get a match. So then, whose blood is it? Dirk and Miss Fey weren't wounded as far as we knew, and the blood's been wiped up by someone for some reason. Yeah, that's strange too.
Whose could it be? I guess there's more to investigate, guys. Unless, knowing me, I'm missing something. Which, of course I am.
I don't see anything else here. What else are we missing, guys? What do you think? Here's the entrance. Do we miss anything here? Knowing me, a lot of things. This is the grape juice Inga was drinking. Probably nervous before his meeting with Dirk. So he drank grape juice? I'm not seeing the logic here. Mr. Wright told me all about it when it was hospitalized a few years ago. He said grape juice has something in it that helps you relax. Really? Are you sure he was talking about regular plain old grape juice? Because it sounds like he was talking about the fermented variety. No, he couldn't have meant that. I mean, we're talking about a medical facility. They wouldn't have allowed something like that in. Right, let's just leave it at that. Sure. What about these statues? Like a small army of monks, all neatly lined up. Looks like they're facing the sarcophagus in prayer. If you look carefully, each one has a slightly different expression. Wonder if they used real people as models. Some are frowning, some are smiling. There's one that looks like he's trying his hardest not to burst out laughing. Really? I wonder why. Maybe it's like these times when things are so intense you can't help but laugh. You know, like at funerals and stuff. You went through all that trouble of depicting that? Talk about going overboard. Alright, like a couple more things. I see what time it is. Is this supposed to be Amara channeling a spirit? Looks like the spirit of some country's sultan or something. But she seems to be conveying something to the retainers. She's on fire! That must be Amara's assassination as allegedly carried out by Dirk. They really made him look evil. This is the weirdest one of all. Is that supposed to be Dirk facing his punishment in the afterlife? Anyway, I guess that's the last one. I guess we're supposed to see this as a happy ending. Yeah, except nobody came out of this story happy. Haha, what a great story. Oh god, a baby on a lotus blossom? That's one strange painting. Apparently that's part of a mural depicting the life and times of Queen Amara. You know, like a storyboard or something. So that baby's supposed to be Amara. That one depicts Amara preaching to the faithful. It's hard to put into words, but I've never seen anything like it. Let's see, the next one is... Is that Dirk? Why does he have horns? My best guess is it depicts the first time Amara and Dirk met. She's supposed to be some kind of demon who's seducing her? Well, he was successful since they got married after that. The mural continues on the opposite wall. And we checked that already. I'm not seeing too much to invest. Well, there's this. Someone could have hid behind these curtains. Here, I'll go give it a try. Well, can you tell I'm hiding here? No, I can't tell at all. That's it. That's the perfect hiding place. Did it, Apollo. We solved the case. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the Royal Guard searches the tomb high and low right after they stormed in, and they said no one else was in here besides Minister Inga, Dirk, and Miss Fay. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. My brilliant deduction, destroyed in 3 sentences.
Ha ha ha. So funny.
Knowing me, I'm missing something in one of the, things. Oh, there's this. It's full of ash. They must burn incense in here. I was wondering, Apollo, did the ash come from the incense sticks that were burning in this? Or do people put their incense in here after they were already ashed in here to hold them up? Don't be silly, Athena. The answer is simple. Ash is the product of prayers from the countless visitors who came here. Not a chicken or the egg kind of thing. Oh, that's an interesting take on it. It's so much more poetic than mine. Well, nothing here. Maybe the other one. Alright, after I check this other one, I'm done, guys. Oh, incense burner. Hey, look, Apollo. There's something in the ashes. Let's see what it is.
Ha ha. I see 2 things.
Is that a gemstone? Wonder what it's doing here. I've got this one covered, Apollo. Would you like to hear my brilliant theory? Well, I guess it wouldn't do any harm. You know how people make wishes by throwing coins into a fountain, right? Well, you know, on second thought, I'm good. What? You sure you don't need to hear my theory? I'm just about to get to the good part. Let's just ask Emma. That'll be much quicker. Excuse me, Emma. What's this gemstone doing here? Oh, that. It's not a gem, it's a button. I'll be a very expensive one from the victim's jacket. Must have fallen off and gotten in there somehow. See, every puzzle has an answer, Athena. Well, I thought my idea was pretty good. Wait, what's with this soot? See here on the gemstone? Hey, you're right. I think we covered just about everything. We should go over what we learned so far. For starters, we're dealing with a locked room murder. Instead of the tomb being locked, it was being cordoned off by the Royal Guard. After the murder, no one was found to be hiding inside. Right. In addition, we also know that Dirk's fingerprints are all over the murder weapon. The curtain around the sarcophagus was drenched in the victim's blood on one side. The blood must have also gotten on the killer when they stabbed the minister from behind. Dirk had blood on him when the crime was first discovered. Fortunately, he doesn't remember what happened. This is not good. So, what do we know so far is, things couldn't be worse for our case. And that's still an understatement somehow. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Oh, if you two are done here, I'll have to ask you to leave. Go on, scoot. Something's wrong, Emma? Why are you trying to give us the boot? It's just easier if you're not here when His Imperial Ephemeral Holiness arrives. Ah! Oh boy, speak of the devil. Prosecutor Sadmati. Detective Sky, it seems you've spoken at length with these 2 lawyers. I do hope you've also been keeping an eye on them. Yes, of course, like a hawk. They didn't touch a single thing. Ha 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 ha. Give a lawyer an inch and they'll take a mile. Never forget that. There's that look of distrust again. Hey, Nayuta, do you really believe that Dirk's guilty? And are you seriously going to prosecute his case? I mean, he's your father. You were once a part of the Defiant Dragons, weren't you? Hey, Nayuta, wait. I said wait. Come on, Athena, after him. Huh? Oh, right behind you. Alright, we're going to move, and then that'll be it. Nayuta, would you stop already? Well, I'm going to stop already, guys. Alright, next time we play this game, we're gonna go through more of this case, and it'll be crazy, and it'll be exciting, and there'll be twists and turns, and all that shiz. But for tonight, I am done. So thank you all for stopping by. Hope you have a lovely day, night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye!